Why men don't marry. Olu, I beg you read this.
Come on, mate.
Why men don't worry? Because there's nothing in it for them. What exactly does marriage offer men today? Men know there's a good chance to lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, if it all goes wrong. Their family, says Helen Smith, PhD. They don't want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property.
Sorry.
And the property when the honeymoon period is over. Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes.
Speak on it, Olu.
Come on, you tell us.
Right.
We are live. Good
Hi,
evening,
Nick.
all.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a while.
A good long while.
Even though it's been a while, we still are back, but we're back by half. We have a lovely special guest with us today, Nick, who's one of our regular special guests, and she has kindly agreed to step in for Trish whilst Trish and Mum is in recovery. They're both doing so much better now. We thank God, and we thank everybody for all their support, prayers, well-wishing, healing, all of it, because they're doing much better, but they just need some more time to recover. So Trish should be back by the 7th.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
She will be back.
But we do thank you so much, Nick, for stepping in.
Of course. I'm here for my sisters, you know.
Thank you so much. We always love having you on. It's been a while, so I feel like we need to get our feet wet again.
I know. And there's a lot that's happened in the last, 2, 3, 4 weeks that you was on last?
Yeah, a lot has happened.
Because the last one was a big we had a long debate, didn't we?
Another long debate. Yeah, we had a long debate. How have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been good, you know. It's the summer holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are driving me mad. I salute school teachers because they are angels in disguise. And roll on September the 6th. That's all I'm saying. And my shopping bill will go down.
Is that when they're back?
September the 6th when they're back. Yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
Still 2 weeks.
Yeah. I know mine are back in September. I don't know the date. I always do this, like closest to the date. It might be like August the 31st. I'm like, what day in September is it again? I go on the school website.
Yeah, you've got to check
the term dates. Yeah. Because I always forget.
I still haven't finished all the uniform shopping yet, so yeah.
Yeah. I ordered Dr. Martens. That's about as far as I've got, and some white tops. That's it.
See?
Yeah.
It's just enough. It's enough.
It is, and I feel like this one's gone quick.
I think it's flown by.
It has.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. You know,
I
think the reason why it's flown by is that I've been in, even though Corona and everything's been around and stuff like that, I've been enjoying myself, you know, now.
Yeah. Me, I'm not gonna lie, I've been enjoying myself with you.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had a good summer, I must admit.
Yeah, we've had a good summer. We kind of been living our best lives. We've had a good summer. Obviously, it was not great. It's quite a scary time. Quite a few of us got struck down with illness in our group, and obviously Tricia got really sick, and so did Mum. But again, so thankful that they're just on the road to recovery.
The ancestors are with us, man. They're with us all, and they're guiding.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So appreciate that. I'm just gonna dip into the comments before we start. Tony Charles says evening. Michelle sends love hearts and says evening. So evening, ladies. Evening.
Good evening. Oh, good evening.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to recap on some of the discussions and stuff that we've had over the last week or couple of weeks or so. We're going to go over that. I know we're supposed to have a few more No Bravadians joining us a little bit later.
No Bravadians, you know, I love that.
Olu, possibly Olu, and possibly Angela, which I'm looking forward to. I haven't argued in ages, so
It's true, you know.
I
There's a lot I need to get out, and
yeah, there's a lot.
yeah, there's a lot.
I'm here waiting for the argument to start, so that'll be a good little exercise for us this evening.
I'm looking forward to it. But like we said, we ain't doing a 4-hour stint tonight, are we?
Oh no. I don't even think I have it. I don't even have it in me. I'm so tired.
Me too. And
So
I always
tired.
thought, you know, I started a new job about 3-4 weeks ago, and it's working from home and stuff like that. And I thought, yeah, man, this is good. Love it.
Yeah.
Nah. It's just as much work.
Yeah.
Just as much work. Do you know what I mean? With the kids as well.
Yeah, and you've got to be more disciplined when you're at home.
Exactly. A lot more.
And congratulations on your new role.
Thank you, darling.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Right, so I'll let you start. So as I said, we're going to go through some of the topics that we've discussed in the group over the last couple of weeks or week or so. I know that you'll be sharing that on the slides.
I will
today.
be.
Thank you so much.
Got
and
it
I want
all
to thank
ready.
my friend Arafa for letting me use her house, because my new place is a new build and OpenReach
no
can't get
Wi-Fi.
a line. Yeah, can't get a line. OpenReach can't get a line. Virgin can't get a line. Nobody can't get a line. There's a company called Direct Save.
So they never put it in then, when they never put the lines in when they were building it. They couldn't have.
It's ridiculous. They've got a whole cupboard for it. A whole cupboard just for it. And
it's empty.
No
oh, look, Olu's joining us.
Is Olu joining us?
He's
all
just
right.
joining.
Olu.
Evening, Olu.
Hello.
Oh, his audio's not connected yet.
Okay. Good evening, Olu.
Good evening, ladies. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you?
It's great to see you guys.
And Angela's joining.
Why did you laugh like
Because he's ready, innit? You're ready, innit, Olu?
You haven't argued for a while, Olu. Is that what
you missed us,
No.
though, innit? You missed us for true.
I've missed you, ladies. I really have, you know.
Okay. Oh,
hey, Angela. Whoo! Girl looking fine.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Sorry, everybody.
Hi. You look nice, Angela.
Short hair. I'm waiting for
It
my
looks nice.
Wig life. My head is
It looks good. It suits you.
It looks really nice.
I'm dying. My short hair is a hot mess at the moment, so I've had to make amends with my wig.
It suits you. It's very nice.
Thank you so much.
I like it.
Thank you, ladies. Oh,
Yeah, it really does. It really looks good. So I've just been catching up with Nikki because it's been a while. We've just been saying what we've been up to. What have you guys been up to? It's been a while.
It has.
What's been happening?
You go first, Angela.
Oh God. What have I been doing, guys? So to be honest, I've been working a lot on business plans and what have you. You know, I get people startup loans for businesses, so it's been quite busy. So quite a few people looking for money to start something up. So I've been quite busy with that, actually, if I'm honest. Other than that, my online store, like I said, I've got a Shopify store. So I've been really trying to play around with what promotions work for customers. And as always, the most expensive promotions are the ones that people like the most. So I've just been looking at things that I work on personally for my own income. As you know, I'm self-employed. I've just been trying to see if I can work smarter. Been trying to manage my son and family's kids in the summer holidays. Just hard. It's hard.
It is.
It's my first summer holiday full time because my son was in nursery last year.
Oh,
yeah. So they don't have a break. Kids, they don't have a break.
So was he in? So is he going to reception?
But he's done reception, so he's going to year 1.
He's going.
So this is your first experience of a summer
holiday.
6-week holiday.
It's a lot.
Girl, it gets worse. Believe me. As they get older, they eat more food and broccoli pocket.
Yeah, I understand. And it's been expensive as well. So then my niece over, my friend's kids son over, what have you. So that's been tough. And then other than that, ladies, my brother got married as well.
Oh, beautiful. Congratulations.
My brother got married this weekend. My mum passed away 2 years ago, so that was her anniversary. And then I had a wedding on Sunday. But I've been out and about, girls. I've been out trying to like have a good time and stuff. It hasn't been all work. It's been quite a little bit of play. So don't.
Yeah, but we have to.
That's good.
Work-life balance and all that.
Yeah, the balance.
Yeah, but other than that, ladies, and thank God I met you all at Tricia's pop-up store.
Yes.
Lovely to see you in person.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant event
lovely.
as well, actually.
It was a lovely event.
It was so good.
It was. So that's about it, ladies. I can't say anything more exciting than that, but you all seem well. You all looked well. You all look well. You look blessed. So
thank you. Thank you. Olu.
Well, you know, I've just been busy grinding, you know, with the working team. So I've just been spreading my nest. Like I said, my company is really getting a lot of traction now. So I'm currently working one large borough. There's another big borough, I don't name the name yet, in South London, and they're very interested in the work that I'm doing. And like to really roll it out to young people in challenging circumstances. So like yachts, crew, that sort of stuff. So I'm currently working with people like that. I'm also gaining experience because, like I said, I work with children primarily from school age and then those who have left school. But now I'm getting really good insight into young people at the extreme end. So people who have failed the school system, they've gone into care, and at the extreme end, basically a step before prison. And it's really interesting speaking to young people because while in school, we say, if you do this, it's waiting for you. Out of school, while we say to them, you can still make it. But at the extreme end, when they've been really disengaged, just to see their mindset has been really interesting. And to see the challenges that young people face as well, you know, because in light of the pandemic, you know, mental illness, isolation, you know, who am I in this current state? You know, just define yourself. We have to bear in mind that a lot of people are struggling.
Yeah, for
and
real.
It's easy to judge people and say, do this, do that. But, you know, in terms of what they go through, nobody's been through anything like this before.
Yeah.
No.
And we don't know their story. Everyone's story is totally different.
Yeah. I mean, some adults have struggled with stay at home, you can't go to work, you can't do this. And imagine a young person.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been really insightful just looking at that and working with young people.
So is this on top of your teaching jobs, or you're just doing this as a business now?
Like my business was primarily tutoring services, but now it's expanding into educational services.
Okay.
Now, there's the tutoring arm, there's a mentoring, there's a coaching. So one borough I'm working with, they really like the work I'm doing in terms of tutoring, coaching, empowering young people. And like this other borough said, we like the work, we've heard what you're doing. Is it possible to roll it out? So it's really about pinpointing how I can fit into how the borough sees my work working, because there's lots of organisations that offer mentoring and coaching. And with my educational background, that's one part. But education takes many forms. You could take training, you know, it could take vocational skills as well, apprenticeships. You know, it's really about working people in different ways to support them. So it's been really exciting times for me. It really has.
That's good. Michelle says, well done. Sounds very interesting. Agnes says, good evening all. We've got Charlene that's joined. We've got quite a few people that's joined now.
Brilliant.
So we'll get into it. Because it's been a minute.
Let's chop it up.
We haven't argued for a while.
Can I just ask something before we go on? I was talking about this today, the whole Sha'Carri Richardson situation.
Right, I've purposely not paid any attention to it because 1 minute they were celebrating her, then they wasn't, but I don't know any of the reasons why for anything. I haven't looked into it, and I'm just like, oh.
What's that, Nikki? What's that?
She's an American runner, in the USA team. And before the Olympics, she qualified. She ran a really fast 100-meter sprint. She ran a really good 100-meter sprint. Won the race, qualified for the US team for the Olympics for Tokyo. Then, obviously, because she won, you know, they do the random drug tests. She was caught with marijuana in her system.
Oh yeah, I know that bit. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the whole thing was, her birth mum had died and she was this and she was that and whatever. I'm not having a bar of it. I'm sorry, you're an athlete, that wants to go to the Olympics. So what, you're in the hood in the zoo? Nah, it's not on. It's just not on. But anyway, so then she was banned for a month,
Yeah.
so she couldn't go to Tokyo, so she wasn't part of the Olympics. Then
Okay.
there was and then, you know, in the Olympics, the Jamaican girls they won gold, silver and bronze in the 100. They won the relay.
Yeah.
So then there was a race on Saturday afternoon. I can't remember what it was called, but she ran that and she came last. Yeah. And no one's, you know, I'm not dragging her for coming last, but is anyone seen her side, the interview she done afterwards? She was proper, she was cussing for a start, saying, but sorry, let me go back. Before they ran the race, she was on social media saying how she's coming for the Jamaicans medals and this, that, and the other, and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she came last. Yeah. Then when she ran the race, after she ran the race, the interview at the side was, well, I don't give a whatever what people want to say about me because I'm the 6th fastest woman in the world, and so now people are saying, you know, it's kind of split and it's divided. People are like, well, why are people dragging her down and this, that, and the other? People have to lose before they win. But in my eyes, no one's cussing her for losing, because one of the Jamaican girls became like 8th or 9th, like just ahead of her. So, you know, it's not about that. It's about like humble yourself. Because if you was sensible, she's a great sprinter, she's a fantastic runner, but she got too much mouth, and from before she had the mouth, you know, and it's very, you know, and I don't want to say that people have to code switch or anything like that, but I do think that you have to get some sort of media training to be able to have these interviews on the BBC and all around the world. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, I mean, I kind of got into it with someone today because they were like, nah, you know, I think it's terrible and this, that, and other. I said, no, she should have shut her mouth and take the loss and ask for it and go and chat to the Jamaican girls and see how comes they're so fast or whatever it is. You know, you need to be someone's friend. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I was just like, come on now. Like, come on. It was just a joke. It's just ridiculous.
So your view is humble yourself.
Humble your little self. Yeah?
Right.
Because that's the thing. She's young. She's inexperienced, but she is a fantastic runner. She's a fantastic sprinter. No one can't take that away from her. But you won't even get sponsorship if you're going to carry on like that. No one's going to even want to sponsor you. Do you know what I mean? So
it's unattractive.
You know, it is unattractive, you know, and she curses. She uses F words and all kind of things. So it's like, you know, like,
Took we all, babe.
I know, but I wouldn't do it on a BBC worldwide interview.
No, I know. Yeah,
you
no,
know.
definitely. I definitely wouldn't be on the sidelines talking to news or whoever about swearing up the place. Okay. Michelle said Americans' culture is different, so to us they can come across as arrogant.
I can see that, but you still have to humble yourself. And I mean, if you don't big up yourself, who's going to big you up? And I get all that as well, but there is a way, and there's a kind of a decorum to be had, to be doing it in a good way. I think to appear that, you know, you're an athlete. You want to go fast. So you're going to want sponsorships, and you're going to want people around you. With that attitude, I don't think she's going to get it. Well, I think she needs to kind of fix up herself before that happens.
Can I just say something there? Do you think she's been advised to behave that way, or that on her own steam?
I think she's done it on her own steam.
Right.
Yeah.
If she'd have had any sort of media training or anyone to guide her, I don't think she'd have behaved like that. I don't think she would have behaved like that.
No.
And you do see the difference between the Americans, the Jamaicans, and the British people. You see the differences in when they do their interviews. Do you know what I mean? But
I agree.
like I said, I do think there's something to do with being humble and, you know, still bigging yourself up in the same sense. Because she's not rubbish. She's a fantastic runner, even though she came last. You know, it's just that those ladies that were more experienced than you, that all of them are more experienced than her, and they won. So humble yourself and, you know, reflect on what happened, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for that, Nick. So should we go? Should we get into?
our?
Right,
let me share my
some
screen.
water. the throat.
Fine.
Ready?
Fine. It's been a while. It's been a minute. So Nikki's gonna share.
Right, there
our
we
first
go. Can
topic.
everyone see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Nice, nice.
Okay. Our lovely ladies.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we're chopping it up today, guys. Yes?
Yep.
Chopping it up.
Oh, this one. I didn't get to comment on this one.
Oh
but
my gosh.
I didn't get to comment on this. So I'll read it out. It says, this was posted by Michelle Wilson, and the caption is, my ex-husband bought my son a new Benz. My new husband needed the car for work one day and I let him use it. Was I wrong? Yes.
I think you should have done everything in your power to ensure he didn't use it. And I think that's a bit out of order, otherwise you wouldn't ask.
Exactly. And in my eyes, yeah, I think that man, he's the one that's even worse for taking it and driving it, I think. Even if she'd have offered, even if she said, oh, I'll take his car or whatever, he should have said, no, it's all right, I'll take a cab or a bus or whatever. I don't feel it's...
Why couldn't she, because she's got a car, innit? Why couldn't she give him her car?
Exactly.
And even better, it's even better if she used the Benz, but I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is that feels a bit, you can't do that. But I just feel like I'm not able to explain it. But there is something where I just think you can't do that.
No, I don't agree with that at all. Not in
there
the
must be other alternatives. There must. But Asia said there is more to the story. And Tony Charles said the stepfather is a boy. Should we read some of the comments?
But if there's more to the story, what? But this is what we've got. So
this is what we've got.
Yeah. At the end of the day, so yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit. That man should have. I don't want to use the words "be a man," but I'm gonna say it: be a man. And he should have turned around and said, "I'm gonna take a cab or a bus or babe, can I take your car?" You know, that's the way that I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
What do you think, Ange?
I agree. I think he should have been a bit too proud. Okay, there's a soft spot about the situation that he was using it for work. He wasn't going out or whatever. But coming from the ex-husband, bottom line, it's a car. It's a car. It doesn't really matter what car it is. It's a car. He needs to get somewhere. But there are so many alternatives that he could have taken. I mean, getting around in an Uber's nothing. Getting in a taxi, a bus or train, whatever. It's America. It's not like they're in some kind of like
outback
desert island. Do you understand? So I think as a man, he should have been a little bit too proud to be driving his stepson's vehicle from his dad. That should have been a no-brainer.
I agree.
Yeah. You think, okay, so you wanted to drive the car because it was a Benz?
I hope not.
I just feel like he wanted to drive it. Maybe I'm being presumptuous and fast and judging, but like, you know, sometimes when it's a nice car, they just want to drive it. So there's every excuse under the sun why you need it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it just doesn't sit right. You know what I mean? It doesn't sit right.
The man, you know the biological dad's gonna get mad, because who wouldn't be pissed a bit about that? So why? I don't know why. Why would the mother?
Why would the mum do that? Like, I don't know why you would do
maybe
that.
Maybe they all get along. Maybe they all get along.
Why did she ask? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Because she knows damn well.
She does.
You don't do that. What do you think, Olu?
Very interesting hearing you ladies. I would say the man bought the car for his son. At that moment, he has discharged any responsibility for the car. What his son does is up to him. You see now. So if the son wants his stepfather to use, that's on him. The dad can't get vexed.
Yeah, but the son, it was the mum that let him drive the car. The son,
like I said,
we haven't got nothing. We don't know whether the son said yay or nay. But
let me tell something now. I remember one time I bought a PlayStation for my son, and then I hear her, my partner's boyfriend had taken the PlayStation. So
to do what?
and sold it. It was using it, then he sold it, yeah?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What?
Now, naturally you think, oh, you get vexed, yeah? But I just said to myself, you know what? If that is how the mother is handling her business, that's on her. I bought something for my son. You're not handling your business properly. I can't go to the man and start railing up to the guy.
No, you can't go to the man, but
Yeah.
wouldn't you go to the mum and say, well,
I could
what's
have a go
going
and
on?
say, you know, what's going on?
Yeah, what's that about?
In this situation, if I bought a car for my son and he or the mother thinks they should use a car, that's on them.
You think?
Yeah, it's on them. I don't control how he uses the car. It's up to him.
No, I know, I get what you're saying, and I do understand that. But I think there's something to be said about the couple that are doing that. Like, I don't know.
That's more on her. It's on the mother because
it's on her. Yeah,
it's on her. Yeah. It's not. The son might even be pressured. Oh, let him use a car. You know, so you don't blame the guy. It's the mum. It's her judgment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because your part X is thinking, boy, you're with a waste man because look, you're using my son's car, but you can't get a car, you can't get Uber. You see that? So I don't get vexed. I thought you need to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
You see, that's how I look at it as a man anyway. It's just my opinion.
So Lorraine Foster said, I've been deliberating over this for a while. I've been considering how to answer. I thought if it was my son and he agreed to let my new partner borrow his car, that's kind, but I wouldn't expect him to borrow it on multiple occasions or to have my son walk or to take public transport unnecessarily. I'm 50-50, I guess. There's a lot to take into consideration. The ex-husband may have been pissed if he found out, but possession is 9/10 of the law.
which is what Olu's saying, basically, right, Olu?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think Lorraine made a good point there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a one-off and he said go on, use it or whatever, then really no one's got nothing to say. Do you know what I mean? But if he's riding at the boy's car, then no, go and get your own, brother.
Till the wheels fall off.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Well, Simone, who I love her comments, or I wait for her comments. She said she is rude and her man is waste. Straight.
That's the comment. That's the whole comment.
Straight. In capitals, yeah? So you know that she's cussing.
But it says a lot about her man, though, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It says a lot about her man.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking at, right? Like, you know.
But the woman put her man in that position. No, it's not the man. It's the woman put her man in that position.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's ask. You shouldn't even be in a position where you can even ask.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
So what do you mean she put, hold on. What do you mean she put him in that position?
That's
By
what
offering in the car.
Because if the former partner hears this, he's thinking, what kind of man you got there that using my used car?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
exactly that.
I think for me, I do get it. I definitely think it's more on her because she's the one that has the ties to both.
Yeah.
They don't have any connection to each other apart from her and the boy. And well, her and I don't know. The son must be of some kind of age because he's got a Benz.
Because he's got a car. Yeah.
So, but I do think to myself, it's definitely mindset because I know what I'm like. If someone said to me, "Oh, just drop my," it's gonna sound bad. My daughter has things that's been bought from her other side of the family sometimes, and she's like, "Just take that or just use that," and I'm like, "Nah, no,
because it's from no. I totally get what you're saying.
No, don't care.
I can completely.
Oh wait,
I know what you're saying.
And that from that point of view, I think why would you even want to use it
to bring that any madness to yourself and your relationship?
And it's not even nothing against them. It's just like it's her thing. I don't want nothing to happen to it. I don't want to have to answer to anybody. I don't want it. I don't want the thingy.
Because imagine now he would have taken that car and get into a, you know, I'm assuming this is American and he has a fender bender or something. Imagine that now. That's a madness now.
That's a madness now. And was he insured?
Oh, that's the next thing.
Because
if he is, then you're taking the piss.
Yeah. So either way, if he is or he ain't, you're taking the mick.
Yeah.
So just don't drive it.
Hold on. What about, okay, let's take your argument further. It's a nice car, yeah? the new man's going to an interview and he feels a car would just seal it in terms of impression. Remember, he's going to bring money into the new family. So what's wrong there?
Oh no, find another way. There's always another route.
Come on, man.
Because if the Mercedes Benz wasn't there, you would have to find a same way to bring that money into the family. Be a little bit.
But that could be the thing that could help him to seal the money, just to give the right impression. I'm just saying, just putting it out.
I don't know. I think a lot of us were brought up as well as don't touch people's things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't come home with people's things. Don't touch people's things. And if your stepchild comes to you, or your stepson or daughter comes to you with something from their biological parent, leave it. Just leave it alone.
Don't trouble it.
Touch it.
Don't trouble it.
Don't trouble it.
Do not trouble it.
Find another way. Just leave it. Who does? I like,
and that's just to save any kind of craziness coming to your face. Yeah, definitely.
The drama. We've got some comments in the on Facebook at the moment. So Agnes said, if he asked the son and the son said it was okay, then it's between them. Michelle said the stepfather should have had some pride.
Yes, that's what I think as well. And I think if the stepdad did ask the son to use the car, then man.
Absolutely. Dion said, if I buy a car for my child, I do not expect the other parent's partner to be driving it. You're grown. Right. Make your own damn arrangements and allow my youths whip straight.
I saw that one.
That's right, though.
Asia said, if you have not had permission from the owner, left it alone. And Tony says, you have to have pride no matter what. And Michelle says, I would look at you differently. And I do think there is, we talk about no bravado and ego, but that's where my ego is going to be top tier at its highest, because I ain't taking no one's things and no one ain't telling me I drive there with it. You're not doing that. So that is where I would be like, nah.
Oh God, what have I done? Sorry.
That's all right. Does someone want to read out Roger's comment? Because you know Roger must have come with some kind of fire.
Okay, I'll read it out.
Oh, sorry.
Roger said, why is it even a question? Yes, she's wrong. Say the new partner has an accident and the car is a write-off. Insurance won't cover it. If I was a father paying for the car for my son, I swear I lose the plot. Jail time included. So we know where he stands on that position.
Yeah, no, it's out of order. It's out of order. And Brina Hunt.
So she said she is wrong. Hang on. She is wrong. I would have told him to catch an Uber, or I would have driven him to work as a one-off. There is so many options that she could have considered if she cared enough.
Yeah.
What we were saying, right?
Yeah.
100.
Yeah. Lorraine James says it's not her car to make that decision. Any arrangement should be between the son and the new husband. If the car wasn't there, right, I'm pretty sure he would have got to work. Why would he want to drive it anyway? Nothing. Why do you want to drive it?
Yeah.
It could be a time issue, convenience issue. It could be just went to flex issue.
Flex. I promise you.
It is flex because it's a Benz.
Yeah. If it was a Prius, would you ask? You would have got an Uber and sat in the back of the Prius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Tony Charles also has said, I'm not driving no ute man's whip. I think it is wrong. I don't know why I feel so strongly about it. I can admit that, but I do. Like, I couldn't go into a huge detail about that. No, you don't do that. All I can say is you don't do that.
Yeah.
It's one of them weird ones where I just think, nah, man, just no.
Just don't do it.
No, I don't know. I just think I'm going to look at you well, I'm going to consider you different. But then obviously the mum was the one that let him use it, so she don't see a problem with it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I know what my previous partner was like, and I've got grown daughters, and I think if something like that was to happen, with my husband and my daughters now. Not that he would. I know that my previous partner would lose himself. Because and that's what I'm saying. I know, you know. So I think in this situation, I think she's kind of taking the piss out of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think because if you knew that your ex-husband would have gone mad about it, you would never have done it.
Yeah.
You know. So, and I know that if that was my situation now, I know that my ex would make a fuss about it. He would make a fuss. My girls would probably be like, no, it's fine, it's fine. He would make a fuss about it. But then I know that my husband would not do that.
Yeah.
He would
That's
not
like
do that.
Michelle's saying, I'm not
He
giving
would
my
not do
ex
it.
any reason to.
None
talk.
whatsoever. Yeah. But then I know that my husband, even if my daughters were to say, yeah, take it, drive it, he'd be like, no, it's all right. Nick, drop me, or I'll get a cab. I know he would.
Yeah.
He wouldn't want him to come and tell him nothing neither. So, yeah.
It's one of them things. Yeah.
What are you deliberating there, Olu? Stroking the beard?
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying. Interesting. It's you know, it's not an easy one, you know.
It's not.
An easy one.
And
You
it
know what,
depends on
Nick?
the
Not an
relationship.
easy one.
We can minimize the slide for now until we go on to the next topic.
Cool. Let me. All right. Lovely.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Go on, Olu.
Yeah, I think it's not an easy one because, like I said, if the ex is secure, he's bought it for the son. What the son does is up to him.
Yeah.
You've got to look at that. You can't. Yeah, okay. You might think, boy, he got some sort of waste man, but he bought it for him. How you? It's up to you.
Yeah. And I think it also depends on the relationship that the two exes have as well. You know what I mean? So the exes might be cool. He might have said, yeah, that's cool. That's all right. You know.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem. Because the way I look at it is, listen, if my child is there and the man feels he's going to help them, that's them. I feel glad I can contribute.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to use it to oppress my ex.
No.
Like, see, no, because she's my ex.
No.
I've moved on. You see, so my ego would, nah.
I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I would just, the only thing I would say is that just they need to make sure that they look after it. And if anything happens to it, you're responsible for it.
I wouldn't even make that condition, Nikki. That's on them. I won't make it a condition.
No.
If you mash it up, that's your business.
Yeah.
That's up to you. I won't make it a condition.
But,
you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to show grace to people and say, you know, if you're in a position to help them.
Yeah. He was going to work. He was going to work. He wasn't going to turn up
true.
on it like that. He was going to work.
That is true. That is true. But again, I do think it very much depends on the relationship that the two exes have.
Yeah.
If they're cool, then they're cool. If if you left him because he was a bit unstable and he's a whatever, then you know she knows what she's doing, isn't it?
Yeah,
she's the one.
If it's wrong immediately.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She knows what she's doing, and then you're asking, "Am I wrong?" So, do you think you're wrong? Are you asking me to verify what you're doing?
That's true.
Yeah. It's tricky, man.
It is. I mean, this scenario could be applied to cars, phones, TV, any electrical gadget. You see now. The moment you buy something for them, you discharge responsibility. That's on them. You hope they'll use it wisely. If not, that's between them.
You go mad thinking about where your money's going. Is someone taking advantage of your generosity?
Yeah. I mean, my logical brain is agreeing with you, Olu. It really is agreeing with you, Olu. But
your emotions.
The ghetto side is like, but do you know what I mean? So for me, again, it would depend on if me and the ex was cool and I even met the current partner and whatever, then I suppose it's not that big a deal. But I think if we was warring and it was a little bit, then yeah.
And also, and it's funny
you
you said that.
Side.
It's funny you said that. You know why? Because I know a situation where a woman, she split up with her ex. She's with a new husband, and the ex-husband didn't have a car, and she goes, "Come take my old car," yeah. And she was looking at him sideways, right? But I'm like, you can't look at him sideways because he's in a position where he can't do it right now. You can. You should be happy you can help him. She could, look at him like he's a waste man. You see, men look at him differently. Men are very practical. I need a car. Can't get a car. She's got one. Let me use that. Women might think in terms of, the emotions attached. How could you So might want to spite themselves because of this bravado thing.
Mm.
As a guy, it's very practical. If I bought a car for my child, and they're in a situation where either of them want to use a car, use the car. Because I'd rather use the car and do something productive and say, well, I didn't go to jobs to have a car. I'm like, well, get the man's car. You see that?
Mm. So there's some comments. Sabby Joe has said the dad should know his baby mother, the type of family he was given the car into. Dion says, you guys are lovely. I would have a problem with it. I bought the car for my child to be safe, not for my baby mum's man to sport while my child is on the road. Never. Charlene says the man just wanted to drive a nice car. Simple. I wouldn't allow it. Asia is asking, would you guys have the same response if it was money? Elaborate, please, Asia. What do you mean? If he gave money or if the son gave the stepdad money? It better not be the son giving the stepdad no money.
I think it is, you know.
No.
So I think if he gave him money and then he was
For
like
what?
giving it.
Oh, if he gave the son money and
the son and found out the son gave it to the new boyfriend. That's probably
for what reason would
I
you do
don't
that?
know. I don't know. Things like that happen. You might wanna gift your child and then find out that he's doing it to your mum's partner for some reason. I don't know. You listen, things happen.
Yeah, but that's
Okay, what about this? My daughter had £40 that was given to her from her family, yeah? She come home, we went into the shop. I went into the shop, they wouldn't let me use my card. You have to go cash point. I ain't going cash point. Shine, give me £10 and then I'll give it to you and I get the cash point. No, Mum, I don't want to break into my money. I don't want to do this, but I'm not going out the shop with all the children and coming back in. When we get to the cash point, I'll take it out. The child said to me in the shop, but what would you have done if I didn't have it?
Yeah.
She's so tight as well. Like she's so tight. All now, she's not 18 now. She's still tight. Yeah. So, and I was already flustered that I had to ask her for it just for 10 minutes until I went down the road to go to the cash point. But I just weren't coming out the shop to go cash point to come out. But I get flustered at that. And then the child had to shame me and ask me, what would I have done? And she doesn't like breaking into notes. She's like that now. So if you say to her, Shine, have you got change? Because I'm going to the shop might not thingy, and I'll send it to you or whatever on card. She'll like, no. Later on, you'll see her. She's got her money. She's putting her money out. I said, I thought you said you haven't got change. She goes, I don't. I've got no, but I don't have change. And she's just tight like that. But so I felt funny doing that, but taking money from the child that's come from and I'm a mum. No. But taking money and not like you don't know when you're giving it back or whatever, or just taking money or asking the kid.
So Asia said that's what I meant. She said yes to Olu. She said that's what I meant. What if it was a loan to the step parent? Oh hell no. No, and no again. No. It gets very messy with money. It's too messy. It's very messy with money. Hell no. Indeed. Not having that. I'm not having that. Olu, you're thinking.
I wouldn't want to get involved because you would get very messy.
Yeah, it's messy.
Like I said, so. with a PlayStation thing, I was like mad fuming. But I thought, you know what? That's on you. That's on you. Because I could have got involved. I'm like, I don't know how it came about. I just thought I put stuff for my son, you know. And then I hear that. I wouldn't think, oh, being boyfriend self. I'm like, what? I'm cool. Because you could go to places.
So wait, Olu, your son wasn't even happy about it being sold.
No, I was saying, you know, we were talking. He was loving to tell me what. I said, what did it do? Oh yeah, I got him. What do you mean, got him? Oh, very good. You know, the first thing come to head, you just go down there, go do a madness. But you got to say to myself, rah. So you let some man come to the yard and do that to you?
Yeah, I'm questioning his mum.
Yeah,
I'm questioning his mum. Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
But I also said to myself, you must be in a bad place to be with a guy who would do that to your child's property.
Right.
That's why I just thought.
Agreed.
Yeah, but Ollie, you should have pulled her up though. Because then they still, your son's, if that's one thing he's doing, what's going to be the next thing?
Yeah, but this is, so now what it informed me is that, okay, anything of value there, it's not going there.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly that.
Simple,
Yeah,
simple.
it's gonna have to stay at my house, and when you come, you deal with it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how that's how
Because
you
we have to be careful as black people, because if you took it to the nth degree and they say, what are you arguing over? They're like, that's a minor.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
You know?
Did he? Asia's. Oh, hold on. Amaze said, "What if the son wanted to invest in the stepfather's new business and will be guaranteed a return?"
That's different.
That's a different situation, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's a totally different. That's not a loan or whatever, or do you know what I mean? That's a
Mm.
different situation, I think. And
going
I think,
into business together.
yeah,
something
that's
else.
different. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is different. And
That's
I think
different.
still, if that was to happen, you've got to try and make sure that it is a guaranteed return, so it doesn't get messy. So
But
no
you
one
can't
come
guarantee
back.
that, Nikki. You can't guarantee that.
All right, fair enough. You can't guarantee it, but you know, you're going to do as much as you can to ensure that it's above board and straight. Then,
Yeah.
yeah, and
No,
you can't
we're not
guarantee a
doing that.
return, but you can guarantee that it's kind of.
Okay, let me give you another situation. I know a woman now, right? The baby father bought a big TV, big flat screen TV for the youth. And then next minute, the mom said, oh, can we put it in my bedroom because, we got a big TV.
Oh, slow.
No,
What does the son do?
put it in the bedroom.
But the mum wants it in her bedroom.
Can't, it's not yours.
It's not
Not
yours.
yours.
Yeah.
But what, now you're disobeying the mum? See what I'm saying? It's not that straightforward. The dad has bought the son a big TV. The mum wants to put it in her bedroom because of whatever he's heard him. I don't know.
The
But
mum
you
needs
see,
to go
you put the child in a
shop and buy her
situation.
own. Yeah, you're putting it on the boy.
And he was
Do you know
saying,
what I mean?
but my dad bought it for me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but in my yard.
No, stop
You
that.
see what I'm talking about?
Stop
You can't
that,
put a child
stop
in that
that.
situation.
You
No, you
can't.
can't.
That's wrong.
The dad's got to step in and iron it out.
But you can't, because this is how I look at it now, right? I bought it for you. It's for you to enjoy it. But in your mum's house, there's no rules.
But he
So
doesn't
she
want to
can't
give
do
it to
that,
his
do
mum. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to give it to his mum.
He
So
wants it
she
in his
needs to
room.
hold it down and get herself a TV or go to Argos and get
And
an
buy your
Argos
own
card.
things.
Yeah, but now you
Can't
see
buy
what I'm
it
saying?
all at once.
But the thing is, the child has to make a decision. He's in conflict now.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not fair.
That's
Go
not.
see
That's not.
EX. Go see
Do you
EX.
understand? Do you know what I mean? Go and find
Oh,
something.
you're selfish. How can you
Yeah.
have a big thing like that in your house? Yeah, but my dad bought it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but, no.
But why, as
So
a
what-
grown, but even for me,
No.
No.
for me, as a grown woman, just having a big TV in my room isn't my priority.
Do you
So
know what?
why is that so important to her to the point you're going to argue your child down into the ground? I ain't got time.
Exactly. No.
Why would that be so important? Why is that something that you want to battle and tug of war your child with? It wasn't bought for you.
That's right.
Exactly, but now you're
And
trying
where's
to
your
drop it on.
things? What's she?
Yeah,
She
but you're
not
trying to
watching the
drop it on the
TV?
child like he's selfish now because
No.
No,
He
there's
don't wanna do-
something wrong with her mentality.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. That's not. I don't think that's right.
No,
at
that's
all.
not right. That's a taker's mentality.
Mhm.
Thinking that just take. You
No.
can't do that, and you can't do that to your. You can't do that to the child.
that's why you got to be
Yeah.
careful as a man when you buy things like that and you're not in the home because there's only so much you can dictate. It's not your thing. You can hope the woman will do the right thing, but you
Yeah.
can't dictate.
No, that's very true.
You
Because
know?
we're quick to turn and say, "Well, you can't tell me what to do in my yard."
Exactly.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's
Mm.
true, but
Mm.
again, it depends on the relationship that the exes have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and how they're flexing with each other. I mean, I don't have a relationship with my ex at all. I don't need to
Yeah,
because
me
my
neither.
girls are grown now. But
Mm.
when I did, you know what? We just kept it civil and it was all cut down the middle. What I bought for my girls was in my house. What he bought for his girls was in his house. Simple. And I'm talking, we're talking toys, whatever. What he had was at his and what I had was at mine because they weren't going between the two houses with a suitcase of things. Simple.
Mm.
So
I think where I am, my personal experience with my daughter, who's like 18 now, is that she doesn't want things from her dad. That's like her dad, and I definitely don't want nothing in my house from her dad because uses it as a way of
Against you.
dictating things, and you can't dictate nothing in my house.
Mm.
But I don't want your stuff. but
This is what I'm
also-
talking about. You see now, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but in a nonsensical kind of way. So I might say to her, right, you're grounded, take your phone out. This is when she was a bit younger, take your phone, put it in the drawer, turn it off, don't turn it back on. Her drawer, you know, because I don't want to touch your things. I don't like it. I don't talk to him. Yeah. Phoning me, telling me I can't ground her because it's and telling me because it's his phone. I said, then take your phone back into your house. I don't do baby mother and baby father drama. I don't do it. It's not up for discussion. It's not up. So when you start talking like that, I'm like, take your things. Don't bring nothing into my house. If my child is misbehaving, I am the punisher. I'm punishing it. Her biggest thing that she loved to death, that she would have sacrificed her life for, is that phone. So if I'm gonna get her in the gut, it's by grounding her with her phone. So put your phone in the drawer, don't touch it. Turn it off, don't touch it. I took the charger. I put the charger away so she couldn't charge it. I'm getting texts and stuff when the child.
Let me give you one as well. Yeah.
I can't ground her because it's her phone. Don't bring nothing again in my house. Don't bring it.
I remember my daughter. She's 25 now, and you know the days of BlackBerry and thing. I bought her the top of the range BlackBerry phone. Yeah. So she was now stunting to her side of the family. So anyway, the one time the grandmother said, "Put the phone away. Then you can't tell me what to do. It's my phone. My dad bought it for me. Yeah. Give me the phone. I'm not giving the phone." So the mum phoned me and said, "Listen, I've given your daughter an instruction. She's not handing the phone." I put my daughter, said, "You know, come here, give your granny the phone." "Yeah, but Dad, it's not her. She just said she wants to use the phone." That's not the point. In your granny's yard, she's the rule maker, follow instructions. Yeah.
Quite right.
Now, I could have been in a case that we want the phone for, you didn't buy it, but I'm not that guy. I'm like, if this is what your granny's doing, I've got to trust her leadership that she's done it for a reason. You see now? Some guys will say, "Tell her she can't have the phone," and you're empowering the child to be defiant.
That's the worst.
That's what I had. And
that's the worst thing.
I don't want your phone. I've got my own phone. You're like 12, 13 at this point. I don't want your phone. I've
She's
got
like,
my
"But
own
Dad, it's
phone.
not her phone." I don't care. But I hear the joke now. Was the granny not using the phone?
Oh, Granny, you didn't let the side down.
And I said to my daughter, "Good. Next time you have to look after your things properly." So it's a lesson for her.
Yeah.
But I didn't get involved with her. You can't. Now, I said, you know what? As a grown woman, if she's asked for that phone, there's a reason. All I said to her, "Please can let me know when she's getting it back." So there's an end date, so my daughter knows how long she's been punished for.
Yeah.
You see that? Because sometimes we can get involved in the politics. The child's in the middle. You're trying to warn to the child how to behave. If an adult has confiscated the phone, I have to trust us for a good reason.
Exactly. Exactly.
You see that? Because we have to look at the lesson we're trying to teach our children sometimes.
Yeah.
You see that? So that's just
and that's what happens, especially with parents that are in that situation, because the child's there thinking like, "Is it? That's how Dad's gonna be, yeah." So next time they think they've got Dad on side, and
they have, and that's what they do. Because my daughter did that for a very short time. She knows that we don't communicate. It's better we don't communicate. We communicate through his parents and whatever, and his sister. It's better. So she would do things like, "Oh well, my dad, well." Thingy. And at first I was like, "I don't care about your dad," but then I had to realize that I can't say that. You get what I'm saying? I'd be like, "Well, Cheyenne, in here, because your dad doesn't live here, you can't do that."
That was the one. But my dad said, "Oh, did your dad say?" That's nice.
Yeah, but I had to learn because I knew that, because I didn't communicate with the dad, and I didn't see the dad is very much someone that feeds off drama. And he needs it, but I'm someone that I just lock things off and keep it moving, and you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're just not going to get it out of me. So putting things in my house, bringing things into my house, it started to try to be a trend, or trying to do certain things, or say my dad said, and then I realized that when she was annoyed with me, she would say something to her dad. When she was annoyed with her dad, she would come and say something to me, and I used to say, "Don't tell me their business."
I want to know.
I wouldn't even let her talk. But it's just the way, it just depends on where you are. I think when you've truly moved on and you don't care, you can handle things differently. When they're still bitter, they handle things differently, and that is where the friction can sometimes, because when you don't care, you don't care. Like Ollie said earlier, you don't care. You're like, that's your business. It don't really matter what what the
Yeah,
other
but
one
sometimes
says.
we have to be careful how we get this message across to our kids, because I remember one time my son bought a phone for his mum, and I was at 8 o'clock, your phone is outside the door. Oh, but my mum phone. I said, listen, you see this house? I'm the law. Yeah. If you got a problem, I'll give that phone back to your mother. At 8 o'clock, that phone is outside your door, so I know you're not using the phone. Because you can send them to bed, but they left it on the phone. Said, no,
exactly.
I want it outside your door. You see now? So it's about setting the standard down and being very clear about it. Remember, I'm not getting arguing with your mum. Yeah, fine. But in this house, you're going to bring that phone in this house going to go down, or the phone goes back to your mum's.
Yeah.
You see that? And so we need to take the emotion out of certain things, because we're trying to get the best outcome for the children. Yeah. And they can pick up when we're not talking to each other, you know?
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very deceptive, and they will definitely use it to their advantage.
Yes.
Where they can. Definitely. If they can, they're going to use that to their advantage. So it's just about how, especially when you are two completely different people, have completely different thoughts, morals, standards, and like completely different stand on everything. I'm telling you, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not, but like Nat said, once you've moved on, and the other, whoever it is, whether it's the male or the female, if one party's moved on and one party hasn't, there's drama.
And but it's not even moved on. It's also about, like what Natalie said, it's about different expectations, because, like I said, I come from a Nigerian background, and my son, his mum is Jamaican. So there was a time when he was going through the plaiting hair business, and I was trying to impress upon him.
Why you say it like that? Plaiting hair business, you know.
So he said, "Oh, Dad, can I plait my hair?" I said, "Yeah." No, ain't no this house plaiting your mum. So he'd go away for the weekend. She spent hours plaiting his hair, right? And then she'd have to take it off before he comes back. Yeah. And then one day his mum said, "Oh, he's taking me hours to plait his hair. Why can't he plait his hair?" I said, "Listen to something now. I'm a teacher. Do you know how they perceive black boys with that kind of hairstyle? There's enough going against us. We don't need to add that on top of it." Yeah. And I sat him down and I said, "Listen to something. You're a bright boy. Yeah. However, some people are judged by the way you look. Yeah. You've come from London. You're living in Luton now. You're a bright boy. Don't let people look at you negatively. Oh, but Dad, it's not. It's just his." I said, "No, that's what we don't get. It's more than a hairstyle. When you get older, you realise." And his mum was giving it the whole, "Oh, it's part of our culture. Why can't he plait his hair?" What culture? You should know you're African. I'm like, so we have to plait hair? No. Do you know when I broke it down for him? 3 days later, he cut off his hair.
Oh, wow.
He cut off his hair because he realised. So I said to him, "I'm telling you this because, hey, Dad, I'm working as a teacher. We know how we perceive black boys. Don't give them an excuse to look at you negatively.
Yeah.
When you're old enough and you don't have to rely on these people's judgment of you, you can do what you want to your hair." Now he's at uni, he's got both ears pierced. I ain't got a problem with that. But while he's at school, you know, and they're making big judgments, you just play the game.
Oh, Olu, you know,
I don't know.
Yeah, in there, didn't you? You know it's coming, didn't you?
I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Like, again, I've got my logical side and my normal side, but I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but then I'm a don't give a shit kind of girl. Like,
I do.
And I had locks. My husband has locks from when he was young, not at school, but in his early 20s, you know. My son used to have braids as well. Yeah, so I don't know. I do understand what you're saying about the perception, though. I do get that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I don't like plaits on guys, like young boys. I don't like plaits, not dreads. I think dreads are different, but you know, like plaits, like loose plaits or whatever. I don't like plaits on guys. I don't like it. But that's just a preference of what I find attractive and don't, especially as thingy. Again, I think dreads are completely different, but like the plaits or the cane,
it was a whole plait.
Make
it look pretty.
I'm just not a fan of it. I'm just not a fan of it of guys. And my youngest son has lots and lots of curly hair, and people kept wanting to plait it. But for me, as a baby, I used to bun it.
Yeah.
So I used to slick it for him and just do like a little high bun or a little back bun, but I didn't like the plaits. But I'm gonna say what I always say. if they look at you a certain way because your hair's in plaits, then that's something they have to change, not what we shouldn't have to dilute. And I know it's one of them ones where it's an easy thing to say, but that's just the fact of how it is. But I think if we keep kind of succumbing and giving in to what their preference is and what makes them uncomfortable, there's no way plaits should make them uncomfortable and should make them perceive you in a certain way. That's their issue that they're projecting onto us, and now we have an issue with it. So that's the only thing where I'm like, no, I think that's something that they need to change. If you look at a black boy and they're judging him because he's got plaits in his head, then I don't know what to say to them. It's plaits. It's plaits. It's not a plait in the shape of a gun sign.
No.
It's
but
not.
You know what
it's not a teardrop tattoo on the bottom of your eye. Like, it's plaits, and I think we have to just be like, fuck it. Yeah, if you don't like it, get to like it. A lot of it is cultured. A lot of it is from culture. We plait our hair. These are our hairstyles. It's not like an English or Western or European thing. These are hairstyles that we embrace, and I don't know. I just think that it's not an issue like that. It's not threatening. It doesn't do anything. So get to know. We shouldn't have to whitewash, or we shouldn't have to kind of play ourselves down or come out of our thing when it's not anything that harms anyone. Get used to it, embrace it, and be as tolerant as you keep telling everyone that you are as a country.
Yeah.
We don't live
but Natalie, we know.
We don't live in that kind of world.
We don't live in that kind of world.
But
no, we don't. But how are we going to?
If we keep bowing down to it.
Okay, obviously, Olu's more experienced than me, but I've mentioned to you ladies before, so the whole audience and yourselves before, that I'm doing a teaching course, okay? So I did a placement in a school, predominantly white, very local, literally like meters away from where Stephen Lawrence was killed, actually, okay? Predominantly white school, black kids there as well, yeah? I cannot stress, in the staff room, okay? You have to remember, teachers are human beings. I used to think that teachers are just neutral people. They're not.
No.
They come with their own prejudice, just how every single one of us. Okay, I can't speak to other people. I was brought up in obviously an African household. My parents are Ghanaian, and my parents were pretty lenient compared to some of my other friends who had or cousins or family members. My parents were pretty lenient, but in our household, we were not allowed to do plaits and lines in your eyebrows, all of that kind of stuff. That was not even a possibility. And let me say, from my experience, okay, teachers do stereotype, they do judge. Naturally, we do that as human beings anyway, okay? How far they take it is another level. However, my experience, let me be honest, okay? My personal experience, the girls that used to come to school with long nails, yeah, they're in the classroom tapping away. Nails. The guys that come to school with the fresh braids in their hair, yeah, some of these kids ain't even getting their work right, but they come to school with the freshest braids. Their hair's even looking better than my hair.
But are the nails and the braids
a distraction?
Are the nails
the braids a distraction?
Sorry, go on, Nikki.
No, I was going to say, are the nails and the braids the reason why their education is not great, or they're not academically?
No. Some of them, what I can't understand, one girl came in with an orange weave. And I said to her, oh, I like your weave. Who did your weave? My mum. How is a mum putting orange weave in your daughter's hair to school? Her mum's a hairdresser. Orange.
Yeah.
Orange. And what I noticed, guys, I'll be honest with you, this is my personal experience. The kids that came in, yeah, I'm not saying the white kids weren't distracted by other things, don't get me wrong. But I'll be honest with you, the black girls that came in with long nails, they would spend the lesson tapping away. And I had to pull them up. I found that nails were a distraction. I won't lie, in my classroom, I didn't see no white girls with long nails though. Don't get me wrong, their nails would be manicured, but they weren't false nails. But that was, I'm not saying, but I've been to the nail shop and I see young girls, including white girls, having their nails done. So I'm not going to say they don't do it. But in the school that I was, but the black girls that had long nails, they were tapping away, irritating to me and irritating to the other students. The black boys, I'm not saying every single one, but there were some black boys in there that had the freshest braids, and they were not up to par with their work. So I'm thinking, for me as a parent, I wouldn't really be taking my son sitting down braiding his hair for 2 hours or taking him to the hairdressers. Yeah, he's got to look decent with his hair, but your work should be up to par. That should not be a priority. And then number two,
sit there and study whilst you're getting your hair done.
You would see the boys playing with their own hair in a classroom. So
yeah, but I don't think. I think that's a bit. But I think that's a bit different to what Olu's saying. What Olu is saying is about perception and how you're perceived as a young man with braids. So I don't. And what you're saying is about the staff room thing and teachers and how they are with people. And I know because I'm a parent governor. I've been in the staff room. I've heard the way. I understand it, and I do get that. People are people, whether you're a teacher, policeman, barrister, lawyer, whatever, you're still a person. So you're going to have your prejudices and your stereotypes. So I understand that, you know, these boys, our boys, I've got sons, we've all got sons here. Our sons are going to be stereotypes, regardless whether they got braids or haircut or whatnot or whatnot. Just by being male.
Want you to have a little line. They don't even want the boys to have a little line. What's the line going to do? What's the line going to do?
Exactly.
Anything that helps you, anything that sometimes identifies with certain things or is more common in a certain culture or is more common. You don't really see white boys with plaits. You don't really see white guys with lines in their hair. You don't see white girls with braids, with beads. You don't see these type of things. But anything that appears to be more common in these cultures is what they tend to ban. It's what they tend to suppress. They want everyone to look like that. But you know what? My kid don't look like Jake. He's never going to look like Jake.
Right.
Yeah. So stop trying to make him look like Jake to fit into your school, or just make your school a certain way and dead it and keep it like that and stop the pappy show.
I agree.
And the fake inclusivity, because it's not inclusive when you can't be
yourself.
You are. It's not threatening. It doesn't do anything. It is definitely unfortunate, and it is just a sad fact that we live into this world. I just think that it's not always up to us to make the changes,
and those changes
and suppress and do this and do that to pacify when they're going to have a problem anyway.
I agree.
I agree
with what you're saying, Annie, but we just don't live in that kind of world. I'm sorry.
I know,
I do
but
say we don't live in that kind of world. We just don't. If you're living in this country, you're not living in that kind of world. Don't get me wrong. I've even myself. I've gone to job interviews as a contractor, and I've had braids. Honestly, and I've taken them out. They're still relatively fresh. I've taken my braids out the night before to go to the interview to make sure I secure the contracting job. Do you understand that? For me, I'm just trying to get the contract to get paid, but I know exactly what they're looking for. I'm usually the only black person anyway on the floor. You know what I mean? But I know what I'm chasing. Do you understand? And obviously they're hiring me.
So,
they want me
sorry,
to blend,
Angela,
they want me to blend in. They want me to blend in. Do you understand? But that's how it is.
If you're saying that you've changed your hairstyle and stuff like
years
that
ago, years ago.
Okay, but how? And you're the only black person.
Usually,
sometimes, How are you blending in?
No, of course I'm not trying to blend in.
No. I'm saying, how are you
to blend in?
Because then, if you take your braids out, what you got? Your hair, your natural.
Well, before, you're
relaxed hair or whatever.
Relaxed hair before. Do you understand? I know the kind of industry that I used to work in. Yeah. Very critical. They only used to hire me because of my skill set. Yeah, but if there's probably a white counterpart that can do the same job as me, they're going to take that person on. But I knew what I was going there for. Do you understand? Don't get me wrong. When I'm in the job now and I've got off to Ghana for a week or so, I'll come up with braids. And then obviously the whole conversation, a morning conversation about that I've had a haircut, even though my hair's like much longer than what it was when I was there last. But I'm just saying, if you're living in this country, I'm not saying we have to conform. I'm not saying that. But you should also be prepared. Do you understand? You should also. I'm not here to blend in with anybody. I just do what's best for me. But I also have to be prepared. Okay, with what comes my way with it. Do you understand? For example, in my son's school, it is predominantly white. Yeah, it's predominantly white. There is obviously Asian, Chinese kids there as well. It's predominantly white. It's a private school. Okay. Now they sent out a message. There's a couple of mixed race kids saying that all boys' hair should be able to be neatly tucked into the cap, right? When they sent that message out, obviously my son wears his hair short. I can't even manage my own hair just about my son's hair anyway. So I thought, the first thing I thought of is a couple of mixed race boys, and they got the hair where the parents have just let it grow naturally in this, naturally, which is lovely. But I knew exactly what they was talking about.
What they were
they
getting
made
at.
a note of that. They made a very clear note. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but if these people are not challenged,
I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying again, that is like we are living. I think it's changing now. Girls can openly have long braids down to their knees and stuff like that. Remember, I'm 42. 15 years ago, 18 years ago, that would have been a little bit controversial. Not even controversial. You would have just been a bit of a, depending on your environment where you work in. Do you understand? I've worked in housing and I can do what I like. And I've worked in finance in the city. I can't really do what I like. Do you understand? That's just how it is.
So, okay, Sabby Joe has said, unfortunately, we live in a world where stereotypes are seen and acted upon. Therefore, we do have to take notice of the stereotype. Olu is merely stating a fact. Teachers do stereotype, as do employers, with particular names, police, judges, and the list goes on. In the school, the teacher won't say anything, but your child is getting marked lower, is being classified as a troublemaker. I 100% agree.
Yeah, so
that's
do
my
I.
issue in the first place. That's why What Next is there in the first place, because it's not fair and because these things happen. But it doesn't, it's as though it, even though it is an unfortunate fact, it doesn't mean it's fair. And I do think we have put up with it for a long time, long enough. And I do think we have done what we had to do to try and make them happy. And I think it's very clear that no matter what you do, they're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And I do think it's time for us to say, this is not our problem. They always make it think like it's our problem. It's not our problem. This is actually your issue with us in our blackness or in our this or in our that. That's not our problem. And I think we're at a pinnacle time at the moment where things can change. We are in that time. There was like a huge shift after George Floyd. And just a little bit before that, the race issue has been up and down.
Even that girl, there was a girl in the school in Hackney where she had a big bun.
I'm familiar with the case. I know the head teacher, I know the solicitor that was involved in that. So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You see? Well, they said, they expelled her from the school because of her hairstyle.
Yeah.
You see now? And
but that's not that, but no.
But this is what I'm trying to say to you, man, because the thing is now, right? When you send your child to a school, you subscribe to the rules and the conditions of the school.
Exactly.
Now, if the school says, this is how dress code, this is our policy, you don't go to the school and start making it up as you're going on, because that's not the conditions which you joined.
Okay, no, but if the girl is mixed race and she has afro hair, they were saying to her, correct me if I'm wrong, that she should straighten it or whatever. It should be straight. Or she could and she did. She said she did when she was younger. Yeah. And then she let the relaxer grow out, and she had a big bun, and it was nice big bun. But in your uniform policy does not work for us. Because
your uniform policy doesn't say straight hair.
What do you mean don't go to that school? Come on, Olu.
Okay,
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
They say the hair should be neat and tidy,
not straight.
No, they're very specific. One of my sons went to a school where the head teacher says, in the parents' evening year 7, see this school? The hairstyle for my boys is level 1. No signs cut today, no Nike sign, no eyebrows. If you don't like it, find another school. He made it very clear from beginning of year 7. Some schools are very specific like that.
Simple though.
If you don't like
what has that got to do with them getting an education?
Okay, can I tell you what
has that got to do with that?
Let me answer that question. Let me answer that question.
Change up your kids' education with
Angela, let me answer that question.
Hairstyles.
Yeah, but I don't understand. It's a hairstyle. Angela, are you telling me that if someone didn't offer you a job because of your hair, would you be happy?
I wouldn't even know.
No, but I wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't get a job. But do you know what I mean? I wouldn't know. But
I don't want to work somewhere like that, though.
Well, you've got to keep understanding. I can't understand. So I keep going back to this every single call. This is not our country.
Didn't say it was.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Like it's yours.
But there's certain things.
Do you know what I mean? When I lived in Ghana, I didn't get no racism when I lived in Ghana. But they still
brought us here same way. So I'm not being funny. It doesn't matter. But we're not.
They're not going to change it.
Having things like braids shouldn't be an issue. If that is not
that
is their problem.
I agree,
Natalie. It's not something that disturbs their culture or disturbs them in any way.
I agree.
They need to fix up. So there's certain things where it doesn't matter what you do. That's what I'm saying. If it's not the braids, it's always going to be something.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to be black. You are
Yeah.
not allowed to embrace your blackness,
Exactly.
and you are not allowed
And
to be black when you're feeling.
by going along
This
with
is
it.
not our country.
If it
This is
bothers
not our
you that
country.
much, that's what I'm saying. When I lived in Ghana, I didn't face no racism. Does it exist in the black country? It doesn't exist. I know when I'm here, there's certain things I just, you know what I mean? It's gonna be different. When I'm in Ghana, I never face racism. You won't face racism in your, if we're in our own countries, we don't face that. But if you're here, right now, racism is more rife than ever. So I don't understand how black people walk around thinking it's to be 50-50. It's not our country for it to be 50-50. Yes,
no
we didn't fight us here. Yes, we have contributed to the infrastructure. We've done that. But it's not our country. It's just not. And the quicker we understand that, you know you're here for a purpose. You do what you need to do. Then when you're ready, you go back to your own country. It's as simple as that. I understand. I'm not going to tell my son every day.
But it's not as simple as that, though, because not everyone's going to be able to just jet off to Africa.
I'm lying to him. I'm lying
Go on,
to my son like that.
Olu. Okay.
Missing it. You're missing
You
it.
asked the
but
question,
we'll go
why
back
is
to
it
it.
important that some schools put in place a very strict policy with regards dress and code behaviour? And the reason is this. Research has shown that students who adhere to school rules tend to have better outcomes.
Performance, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. These rules are not so there to punish your children. They're so that you can learn to follow rules and guidance. Because let me tell you something now. If you can't follow school rules, you're showing a very defined streak very early on. It's like, for example, I used to be a doorman at a club, and the first thing we say is, okay, look, you can't wear those trainers. You see the moment you're arguing with the doorman, you're not getting the club, because you've demonstrated you can't even follow that simple instruction. The same applies to school. Research has shown that schools that have very tight behavior and dress code policy tend to have better outcomes for their students. Schools that don't have a uniform policy or very liberal about it tend to have less outcomes. That is why there used to be, back in the day, some schools didn't have no uniform. Look at their outcomes and judge against those which have very good, tight school behavior policy and uniform, and you can see the difference. That is the reason why. Schools are more prescriptive in terms of short hair, how long it is, short skirts, how long it is. They'll even model it to you, what is and what is not acceptable. So there's no wiggle room for students.
Plain black trainers, no brands on it, no
Simple.
labels.
That
No
I can
Nike,
get.
no
That
Adidas.
I can live with. Yeah, but that I can live with. What I can't, what I don't agree with is when they have these uniform, especially when it comes to hair. I'm not talking about clothes, because clothes is universal. So when you're talking about hair and stuff, unless most of these uniform policies and most of these senior leadership teams in schools, they're not black anyway. So the people that are writing these policies ain't writing them for us, Olu. Yeah,
okay,
they're not writing them for us.
Nikki,
So you could tell me that my son's hair can't be more than a number 2. Cool, I can live with that if I want my son to go there. But if my son wants to have long hair, then what do I do? Okay. And what difference does that make to his education?
Okay,
The hair on your
even
head.
even in, I can't speak for Africa, but even in Ghana, do you think kids can go to school with any hairstyle? Whether you're going to the top ranked school or the open everyday school, do you think kids can go to school with any hairstyle? The school want to give the focus is not hairstyles.
Exactly.
The focus
It
is
won't
education.
be though. But
Even in our own black country, you can't go to, in Ghana, a kid cannot go to school with dreadlocks. It's not possible.
Okay, but how can a hairstyle be making a child not be focused?
I agree with you saying.
I'm not an education. That's my problem. That is my problem.
I agree with what you're saying, Nikki. I don't think it affects the education at all. I agree with 100. It is just that the ethos of the school is to focus not on what people look like, what hairstyles people do. To focus is education. And if you as a parent, that's your focus, I don't understand why you're getting all caught up in it.
Yeah.
Because he might want to have praise. Yeah. He might want to have praise.
Right now, my son can't be coming to me when he's 8 years old. He wants to have praise. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll
but
cut
he's
the
not
hair.
eight. Yeah, but
When
we're
he gets to
talking
eight-
secondary. Even secondary. If my son used to have braids and he wanted them cut off, but if he's in secondary school and he's 14, 15 and he says he wants to have braids, what am I going to tell? I'm supposed to say no because the teachers are going to view you differently because you've got braids.
I'm not, it shouldn't be like that,
Fuck
Kina. To
them.
be honest, that
That's
one's
what
a
it
hard
sounds
one.
like you're saying there. That's what I'm
hard one.
saying.
Me
Okay,
personally,
this is what I'm saying because I
I'll be-
brought up the original issue. I said this, yeah. My son was going away for the weekend. His mum was spending hours plaiting his hair.
Mad.
And then when he came back, spending hours undoing it. And she was putting forward the argument, why can't my son wear plaits in the house? I said, he can do what he likes in your house, not in my house. Because my interest was to get the best outcome for him. Because when he goes to school, he's a boy coming from London, going to school in Luton. So already there's a stereotype, oh, he's a bad kid. You know, they've got that in their head already. And then you come to school with plaits. And he was in the top 5% in terms of ability in the school. I didn't want any disadvantage going against him. And like I said, 3 days later, he cut his hair. He got it. You see now? I'm not, remember, he's my son. I want him to look the best. But if I'm saying, son, it doesn't work in your favour, trust me on this. You see now? And at uni, he can do what he likes.
What you like?
He can do what he likes. Because the teachers don't
Exactly.
influence, they're not judged by what you look like. But at that stage, it's very
Do what you're
important.
doing.
It's in
That's
the
what I'm
teacher's
saying.
Yeah, but
hands. That's what I'm
Olu, do you
saying.
not think that your son's judged anyway, regardless of whether he's got braids, plaits, flipping shaved head, dreadlocks? He's a black
Default.
man, so he's going to be
By
judged
default.
Yeah,
anyway.
but at that age group, he's more susceptible to what teachers think of him. At that post-18, you know, they can do what they like. But at that stage, I want to minimise the disadvantages that go against him. That's what I'm saying. Help him to navigate. You see now? And it comes back to this.
By conforming.
Because think about it this way now.
Really
Right?
conforming.
His mum would have went there advocating, why can't he do his hairstyle? Yeah? They'd listen to that, but then they would have a perception of, oh, you got that kind of parent. You see now?
It's not
About
see
their
now?
perception all the time. I don't
It's
give
about their perceptions, you see now? They're not going to tell you or articulate how they handle your son, but their perception. Remember, I'm a teacher, I know how they think.
Oh, I
It's their
know how teachers think. I've done mentoring in school.
There you go.
My
You see,
ex-partner
they won't
was
say
the
it,
head of
but
year,
in their
and he will
heads.
tell you all the time.
Yeah.
He will tell you all the time. But he's done it for years, and he's like, they always use him for behaviour. So he's the head of a lot of things because they need him for those sort of roles. But one thing I give to him, is he don't have it when they come with that stupidness, and because he's so articulate with it. He's very into his history. He's very into his thing. It's the way he sets them straight. Every single time he wins.
And that's what we need to do.
When they're going on a black child, he does not, and it's not favourable. But he, don't get it twisted, when he can see these black kids doing things, he goes in on them himself. Don't be doing these things because I'm fighting for you. So don't be shaming me up. But when it comes to things like that, that's where he will stand in front of the whole white SLT and he's not having it. And he does that, and because I think it's because of it's all as well, like you said earlier, Olu, it's how you articulate yourself 100%.
Exactly.
If you go there like no, they're not going to listen. But when you're an educated black man or black woman, and you can go there and you say, listen to me, you are not going to do this because of A, B, C, D, and E. You can get somewhere because I've seen it with him. And what I was saying earlier, I just wanted to clarify on Angela's point earlier. I know this is not our country. If you know what next, then you know what next is not about having a seat at their table. What next is not about inclusivity or being fit or fitting in. It's nothing about that. But it's not about, changing who we are. I'm talking about things that are not negative about us. Why do we need to change it? This is exactly why I'm not in about inclusivity. And what next is about creating independence in different areas. So Olu, why I applauded you and a few other different people in education about our own independent education sectors. Why I think it's important to be independent in these areas, because we set pace. If we are always reliant and if we are waiting for them, or if we are constantly answering to this one, that one, and this one, we are going to have these issues. I think it's very plain to see that no matter what you do, they're always going to have an issue. Okay, there's always going to be a problem with something of ours. And we are and to them, this is our place. This is our place. And we shouldn't step above that place. We know that. So what I'm saying, my thing is not about we are in this country. I know we're in their country. This is not so. If you look on my Facebook over the years, I always say, I don't know why you're worried about a system that was never built for you in the first place.
Exactly.
That's my classic line. I do think that, but do I think we should sit down, roll over? No, I don't.
But if you go back,
Natalie,
It's not just about going about your business. You can still create whilst you're here and whilst you're building. You can still create different platforms. You can create your own media platforms. You can create your own certain things. You can create different and independent things. You just have to do it. And there are ways of doing things. There are still ways of doing things.
I get it. You can do that. You can definitely do that here as well. But at the same time, I mean, obviously my experience is different. I've lived abroad. I've lived in Ghana for 7 years, and it's just totally different. You can be who you want to be in that environment. And maybe my experience is broad. That's why I'm here. But my plans are not to be here forever.
100%.
I'm going back to Ghana. You understand? I'm going back to Ghana. I know how I want to live. I know exactly what I've got a plan. I know exactly how I want to live. And my plans are not going to be executed here. It's not.
I'm just going to read some. Sorry, go on.
But there are a lot of people that are here. So for the people that are here, there is a herd. There are people that have known nothing but here. There are people that are generations down here now, like 3-4 generations down here. So my thing is, yes, it's not here, but don't forget they're the ones that called for us in the first place.
Yeah, to do a job, to do what we have to do and go back. Look at Brexit. Look at Brexit.
Do what you have to do and go back. But at the same time, you've built certain things here now. I'm not saying to stake claim here. I do not claim this country. I do not claim I want anything to do with it. But what I am saying is that you still can create independent faculties in different areas where you govern your own shit at the same time, and you can say what goes and you can say what doesn't go, and you can do. There are things that you can do. It's not easy. I think it will definitely take a lot, but I don't think that we should kind of just say, well, whilst we're in this country, that's what it is. What it is.
I'm never saying that. I'm saying you could be here and be very smart. You can use the country very well.
No, but being very smart, just taking their bullshit and conform. No,
ladies, it's not about conforming. It's about learning the system and empowering our young people to know how to navigate the system. This is all well and good, yeah. But if you don't learn the system, you're always going to be bucking up against it. You've got to learn the system, know how to navigate it. So when you implement your own strategies and institutions, you know what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying
I agree.
Yeah, but you guys are missing it. It's not that. It's learn the system. We know the system. We know the system back to front to the point we know that it doesn't work for you. It's not a system built for you.
It can't work for you, though, Natalie.
It can work for you.
Sometimes if you're willing to do certain things, sometimes you might not be willing to do certain things. But I'm saying there's a way around. If you learn it properly as well, there is definitely a way around certain things.
Yeah, and all I
think it's everyone's journey as well. I can put it down to that. Everyone's going to have a different journey and a different route.
Yeah.
All I've said to my young son is this: you have an options. You're here. But I'm telling you now, as a professional, as your father, as a black Afro-Caribbean in this country, this is how you're viewed. You have the information. Now do what you have to do.
But is that how he acted?
What? No, it's up to him.
Did he act up to their stereotype though, Olu? Because if he did, then that's a different story.
No.
Because this is what I'm saying. People have stereotypes of us regardless. Like I said, when I used to have locks, I've got locks, nose in my stud in my nose and go tooth. I was stereotyped a lot, but I didn't act up to that stereotype. So then people didn't have that perception of me.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is this. Yeah, is about giving the information.
Yeah,
of course.
Give them 100%.
Yeah.
Always have
because all too often, young people say, "Well, I didn't know because you didn't give the information." I gave the information. I said, "It's up to you." 3 days later, he cut his hair. Yeah. Now, you got to understand. Whenever he had issues in the school, and I went down there and I spoke in a certain way, he had the confidence that you chat rubbish, my dad's going to come and talk to you and sort it out.
Yeah.
Because even when I spoke in front of them, they were like, "Right." I mean, one time he got into a fight, and I said, "I want to see the head teacher." No. I said, "No. I don't think you understand me. I want to see the head teacher now." They had to go and call the head teacher from his meeting, and we sat there. We sat it out, and I spoke in front of my son. I said, "If you don't sort this out, I will sort it out. But trust me, you ain't like what I sort it out. You're gonna be in the media, straight up." But I won't cuss no bad mouth. I told him in a way that my son, to show him that this is how you talk to these people who think they can talk to you anyhow. It's like modeling it to them.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, we have a duty, especially to our young boys, to monitor them how to behave.
But because of that, Olu, let me tell you, because of how you behaved with those teachers, and that you was there on point with intelligence and all the rest of it, was the way that determines the way that they treated your son.
Of course.
But also model to him, I won't go there cussing and blinding.
Yeah.
Of course.
No one's too often we get into that mode. We start cussing and blinding.
Yeah.
That's gonna work.
And we can't show our children that.
No.
We can't show our children. I totally agree.
I don't think that's even a healthy aspect of living in general across any culture.
That's not how you deal with conflict.
Yeah, that's not how you deal with things. That's not healthy. It's not good anyway. So I do agree that there are some things that you can just left and show them, you know, the correct way how to deal with things. But I can honestly say, even from experience of myself, I'm a person, if it doesn't sit right with me, or I think it's an attack on certain things, I'm not having it. And I have successfully on many occasions, even sometimes when I thought I haven't, got around certain things that people may have thought might have been impossible, because you need to do this and you need to do that. I ain't doing it. But that's because I was able to, which is still annoying, prove myself. Yes, I had to work that little bit harder, but I ain't doing that. I'd rather go around and show you that your stereotype is wrong. And actually this is what I'm made of, or this is what I had, and this is what I've done. So I do think it is possible, because I've had those successes. It's not always been easy. It's been frustrating, but my soul doesn't physically doesn't allow me. I literally get enraged inside if I feel that our thingy is being attacked. I don't always show it. I'm just like, okay, I've got you. And like you say, you know how to deal with them. Certain even people, you know, like you've got that person in the workplace, you know how to deal with them. Each and every time, you know how to deal with them. I've got Emaze has said, some of the most successful people in the world do not follow rules. Richard Branson, for example, the British education system is flawed past private education. I think it's true, but I also think Richard Branson's white, so he's always going to have that
privilege.
He's got that privilege. So he didn't follow the rules, but you know, there's white guys that shoot up a whole cinema and don't get killed by the police, and there's black men that are going for a jog and do. So it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not always the same thing, but I understand.
Michelle's added, I hear what Angela and Olu are saying, but we are also 3 generations in for some of us, and society has to change. Sabby Joe has added, saying Angela is right. If you are in a particular industry as a person of colour, you need to know how to behave, dress, etc. otherwise. But isn't that regardless?
But some people think, I don't care, I want to dress how I want to dress. Don't work like that.
No. I mean, I'm not that dumb. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I know that I've worked in the city before. I've had jobs and all that before, where you do have to wear a suit and whatever, and your hair has to be neat. Whatever it is, it has to be neat. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not having someone tell me my hair has to be XYZ or blah blah. No, because I can't have. But if you stipulate a hairstyle, I can't have that. Simple. I can't. My hair's like this. Do you know what I'm saying?
It just depends. It's like you've been like,
even when I had locks before. That's what I'm saying. I had locks before, and I had jobs in the city when I had locks. So people have to get with it. That's my point.
I think it's changing now, but at the same time, it's like even being say you're going to be a supermodel. We know that supermodels have to be possibly a certain height and a certain weight. That's just a requirement of the job.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
That's fair.
You have to be considerate of
I don't think it's the same thing though. I don't think it's the same as us going to work in the city in a certain sector as being a supermodel. I think that it's kind of different roles.
For me, if I'm going to work, when I work for myself now, but when I was going to work, for me, I'm just going to get paid. I'm not really there to talk about hairstyles and all of that, all of me, all of you. I'm not really up for that. I just go into work, get my contract, go and do my job and get paid. That's what I'm doing. So for me, I'm not really up for that kind of comment. I just go and do what I have to do, come out of there. Do you understand? I'm not really I'm not going to go in and do whatever I have to do. I'll do my hair however I want to do it. But I'll be honest with you, I have been to certain jobs where I've had braids in my hair. I had an interview next day, I'm taking those braids out. And that's just only because I've got a plan what I need to achieve at this particular maybe role. But obviously I'm at a point where, yeah, I do work for myself. So I do have that kind of flexibility. I mean, to be honest, things have changed anyway now.
Yeah.
Things have changed. My last job that I had, black boys with their lovely, loads of black young boys, that was beautiful. They were more flexible with how things were. But back in our time, even now, people don't really wear suits to work anymore. That's old school. Do you understand? But in the old days, that was quite normal. Obviously, not every single industry, I'm saying, but now, before, everybody had to wear a suit. Do you understand? But now you've got the casual, smart casual look going on. Now we're living in an environment where we're all working from home. We can do what we like now. Do you understand? You can dye your hair orange now. They can't really say too much. Everybody's working from home. Do you understand? Yeah. You just got to be a bit considerate of what you're wearing. And my first job was, even after uni, was a cabin crew. I was cabin crew for a year. And they would pull you up. And I wasn't really into the lipstick and I was not up for that. Do you know what I mean? I just got the job just because I went there for a laugh and I ended up getting the job anyway. But they were particular. They were really extreme in how you look. It's, obviously now it's relaxed. They even struggle to get my cabin crew, do you understand? But that was what I signed up to and I had to follow it. And I got pulled up for the smallest things. They would check my nails. If they're not checked, they would pull you up. And I wasn't really, I mean, I got 3 brothers, no sisters. I was always a bit of a tomboy. So this was all a bit too much for me, trying to look perfect every day. That was not me. And I got pulled up, but it got to a point where I had to say, you know what? And you know, I did it for a year. It wasn't really my thing. It was fun for a year. But at the same time, there were some girls that looked immaculate every single day. That's what they're about. But it was a bit of a struggle for me. But apart from other things, I didn't stay there forever. But I'm just saying as well that going back to what Olu's saying, I do think sometimes us Black people, we're a bit more too focused. And when it comes to maybe yourself, you could do what you want to do. But I think when it comes to involve your kids, I think the focus should be just get through their education. If you have adhere to the school rules, adhere to the school rules. Just get them through school. It doesn't have to be all about my kid wants to do this, my kid wants to wear that, my kid wants that hairstyle. It's not really all about that.
No, it's not. But if they focus on it, that's when it becomes.
But Natalie, they do focus on it.
It's not something you're looking for, but sometimes there are times where it can be an attack. My daughter's school at the time, we had something and I had to, you know, I spoke to the teacher professionally about it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the issue. My daughter's hair came out. My daughter's got a lot of thick hair. I worked full time. I don't have time to sit up and do the child's hair every day. I'm not doing it. The hair's cane road. The policy was very clear about different things, but there was never an issue. Said nothing about plaits. They didn't say anything about cane rows. So they pulled me up about it. I said, well, I'm not being funny. There's no issue. I don't have time to do my daughter's hair every day. So there shouldn't be an issue. There's nothing in the policy about it. So she will be coming to school. In the September after that, they had an issue with cornrows, braids, and hair with beads. You know, if you get thingies with beads. So I emailed them. It's an academy. So I emailed the board, I emailed the head teacher, I emailed the deputy head, and I emailed her dad. We don't always get on, but he was able to get a few other emails of some of the big guys that were around Oasis Academy completely. And we sent them an email about that. They had to strike it off.
Exactly.
And it's not something I focus on, but I felt so attacked. And that's why I felt strongly about it. You didn't have a policy, and because I told you before you didn't have a policy about it,
then they brought it in.
You made sure that in September, literally 4 months later, you had a policy and you had thingy, and you sent it out in emails, in texts to parents. You put it on your website. No cornrows, no braids, no hair with beads.
Isn't that discrimination? Isn't that discrimination?
No,
in my eyes,
it's not there.
In my eyes,
it is. That lasted 5 weeks. 5 weeks that lasted. I didn't have it. Then the head teacher was a stand-in head teacher because the head teacher was on maternity leave, and he said to my daughter, I don't know why he thought why did your mum have to email everyone for? Why did she have to email the board? But wouldn't you have to pass that? Wouldn't you have to pass those that through the board in the first place?
What happens is schools can be very reactive. So if they thought that's a grey area, what they would do, sounds like what they did, I don't know the full details, they very quickly passed something to deal with that issue. You see now, because if that schools don't like grey areas when it comes to rules. Yeah, so school will say black shoes. Kids will start bringing kickers or trainers that are black.
Yeah.
So to tie it down, they try to be very specific.
Prada, we're in Prada.
And it sounds like the issue with the hair wasn't addressed in a previous policy, but because you brought this up, they must thought, this could be a problem. Let's specify this now to deal with that. You see now.
But again, if there was a black person on that goddamn board, that would have never ever made it in that policy.
Not really.
Exactly. The black person. When I went to the school, the black people just roll over.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Well, then they're even worse then. Oh, they're even worse.
The black teachers don't say nothing because some of them are even getting victims themselves in the school. They also
fair enough.
themselves in the school. Honestly,
fair enough. But
the boy's dad has said that because there's usually, if there is a black someone in SLT or someone who is able to make decisions on a board or any kind, they will usually go with the majority. They don't want to tamper with that role because they know that if they mess that up, they can get pushed out or anything in any way. So they don't usually like to roll over. It's just the character or the type of person that may be in it. But what I did do is I screenshotted the policy. There was nothing about anything. I said everything was culture targeted. Exactly. And everything was that, and I made that a point. And I said, I need them to explain what the issue is. I got an apology email, and I told them this is not a problem. But they did ask if they could not wear the beads to school because the beads are distracting. But there's no issue with hair in plaits. There's no issue with braids. But just please do not put any beads in their hair. That's fine.
Fine.
But know what you're doing next time before you do that. And make sure you have because it just felt very. I know you're saying. I
agree.
Yeah. I would see that as discrimination. I'm sorry if you're putting clearly
the way they pulled her up. She was like 12 at the time. She was like in year 8.
That's what they do in schools.
And the way they pulled her up and the way they spoke to her about it, I just didn't. When she went in with the plaits and the cane rows, I didn't like it. Don't talk to her like that. She's 12. I did her hair. Contact me. Yeah. You didn't contact me, you contacted her, you spoke to her, and I had to contact you. When I contacted you and said to her, don't come back with like the cane rows tomorrow, sent her back with the cane rows, sent her something with a message in her planner, told the teacher to call me. The teacher called me, I explained, this is my issue. Then I sent it in email, made sure I sent it to the head teacher and that teacher and the head of year.
Okay.
Then when they came back with that in September, obviously they couldn't say anything. She had to roll with it because it's not in your policy. When they came back in September, you're telling me a couple of days before she goes back, I'm getting stupid texts and emails that is sent to all parents about all these things that they can't have. No, that's what you're not going to do because I'm not uneducated. I'm not stupid.
I'm not that one.
They got exposed.
And I didn't even threaten to expose them to the paper. I said, what you're going to need to break down. I showed them their policy back and I said, this is very targeted. I made sure I used very triggering words and just said, you're going to need to explain to me what the issue is. But they finally did come back to me 5 weeks later again. All they said is, we understand, we apologize if you felt like it was in this way. What we can say as a will of good gesture or something, a good gesture will or something like that, is that we ask that there's no beads for any of these hairstyles. We can't see there being a problem with that, and we apologize if you were offended in any way. And you can apologize again. She don't need beads in her hair, it's not a problem, but don't tell her the only way that I can sustain my child so she looks neat every single day for the week is the cane rows. No, you're not telling me she can't have that because I can't do her hair every day. She's not going to go in there looking like she ain't got a parent between her.
Right. No, sorry. Well, Michelle said, yes, they had an issue with my daughter's waist beads until I put them in their place. Quite right.
Good.
Waist beads.
Go on, Olu, hit us up.
I know. Come on. What's the issue?
Why should you wear waist beads to school?
I'm not sure. Some people wear waist beads. Isn't that an African tradition?
No, some kids, they wear it, yeah.
It's an African tradition, no?
Kids wear
school.
Yeah.
Well, but it's a fashion. It's an accessory now. It's
not
not for the reasons.
Yeah.
And it's not out. It's not out.
It's underneath her clothes. What? It's not like she's not got a belly top school.
Yeah, but the thing is, how does the school see it? how she's clearly shown it. How does school see it? That's my issue. You see now. You know.
Okay, should we go on to the next slide?
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next slide.
You know I can.
We could. Right, where are we? Can you see it? You can't see it now?
Not
Sorry. There we go.
Okay, should we go? This is the next topic.
Oh,
Why men don't marry. Olu, I beg you read this.
come on, mate.
Why men don't worry? Because there's nothing in it for them. What exactly does marriage offer men today? Men know there's a good chance to lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, if it all goes wrong. Their family, says Helen Smith, PhD. They don't want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
The property when the honeymoon period is over. Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes.
Speak on it, Olu.
Come on, you
It's
tell
only
us.
right. It's only right.
It comes to that thing about commitment, isn't it? That thing about commitment. Men will often see that the marriage as what they stand to lose as opposed to what they tend to gain. So man will look at like, oh my gosh, I lost my freedom. I can't do A, B, C, D. They're not, oh, I'm getting a partner, I'm getting this. So it stems to that view of commitment, what they stand to lose as opposed to what they stand to gain. Yeah. And I mean, and all too often, you know, men know if the relationship goes left, it's usually the man that has to leave the house, especially when there's kids involved. You know, the woman gets half. You know, so in terms of a contract, it's a bad deal for a man when it goes wrong. But I say to myself, why are you thinking negatively from day one?
That's my thoughts exactly.
Why think about the positive?
Yeah, but not everyone's genuine.
Not every, no, I agreed, but
Everyone's genuine.
What do you mean by that, Angela?
I don't, yeah.
Everyone's genuine. So, I mean, okay, put it this way. I would say I've got an ex-boyfriend, very, 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 very well to do. And I think he's not settled down. And it's to do with the fact that he doesn't, I think, can't really say it's all his words, he's mentioned it, but I think it's also to do with the fact that the women he meets, obviously, he might have his own issues with whether these women are genuine or not. Do you understand? Are they just there? The world we live in today, not everyone. Guys as well, don't get it wrong. Some guys are there to go and take off the woman. Yeah? And some women don't mind supporting a guy like that. Some women do. In the same token, some women are trying to take advantage of a situation that they have with a guy. Do you know what I mean? So I think some people are just protecting their interests.
Yeah.
Love should come, love should obviously should be there. There should be trust, probably, which is why the whole prenup thing comes about. But it's even the same way. Guys, even now, come on, girls, guys now will try and move in with a woman, whatever, or take advantage of a woman, and she might have it all together. And they're quite happy to just sit back at your arm, and the woman's out there all running around town, working her socks off. Man's like, I'm chilling. Both ways.
So.
It's not even just the woman taking the bite, being strategic now, it's also the men as well.
Do you feel like men think as well, like if they get married, it limits their option? Men like options, I feel like sometimes. And women, I feel like it limits those options and possibilities. It feels like a death sentence to some men instead of a new life.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I think men can have a child with a woman. They'll find it more easy to have a child with a woman than even marry her.
Right. Completely.
Whoa.
Completely. I've come across a lot of them.
Go back there. What you say, Angela? Go back there, Angela. What you say?
Men would rather have a baby mother than a wife. Yeah? They would rather pop out babies than marry her.
Yeah.
And stop right there. Statistically, right?
Oh,
Statistically, look at statistics here. Most women rather have a child and be an unmarried woman than actually be a married woman, statistically. There are more single men and men without kids than are women.
Yeah, but just say from
Fact.
a man's point of view,
Fact.
though. I don't know about statistics,
Fact.
Olu. I don't know about
Isn't
statistics.
that,
but
isn't
I
that
don't know
because
about
there's a lot more
statistics.
women?
Is this national statistics or Olu statistics?
Isn't that because there's a lot more women out there, Olu?
I'm just telling you that, yeah.
We've been told that there's like 3 to 1 or something. So there's going to be a lot more
That's in
women
terms of
that are single.
availability, right? However, when it comes down to marriage, yeah, men are more likely to want to get married, if the truth be told, and women are most likely to actually end the marriage. So if you look at divorces, most divorces are initiated by women for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Acts, yeah. If you look at the map, people who actually initiate divorce, it's mostly women.
Do you think sometimes it's got a lot to do with like infidelities?
Whatever the reasons, Natalie, I'm not talking about the reasons,
Yeah,
but and
But that's going to play a big part. Why should you stay?
Natalie, that indicates that the breakdown of most marriages are initiated by women. So
Yeah,
when
but
you
some
hear this, when you hear that men are reluctant, they're okay. Hold on.
But I think, okay, I'm going to say that I think most women, when it would like to get married, I would have liked to have got married myself and then have a child. Do you understand? But if it doesn't really happen like that, okay, I have to say, okay, I prefer, consider my whatever my age, what have you, what's going on in my life. For me, I wouldn't have waited. Obviously, I would have loved to have got married, done it, marriage, have the kids after. Didn't work out like that, but I did as what I would have wanted. It didn't work out like that. So I've got my child. But it's just say, for example, I was like now, I know if I was single, I'm 42, and I didn't have a child, and somebody probably offered me marriage or child. In hindsight, having my child now, I would have chose a child before after marriage. But before having my child, I definitely would have chose marriage before having a child. But then having a child and learning what it means having him, and just say I was at, I don't know, I was at age where just say just like now. But I can only say that because I've had a child now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've never been married, so how
I
do you know that?
know,
How
I
do you know
know.
that you wouldn't have enjoyed being married?
No,
Because you've
I
never
would've-
been married, so you
no, I
can't
would've-
really compare the two if you've never done both. No.
I would have liked to be married first, Nikki, but it didn't work out like that. So now that I've got my child, But before I'd have thought, no way.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I'm
Yeah.
having a child outside of marriage.
Okay, I see what you mean.
It was like a no-brainer. I'm gonna get married and have a child.
I understand.
I
Absolutely.
thought, yeah, I'm gonna do things properly.
Yeah.
But obviously now being a single parent mom, it's not. Yes, even now, I still would have been nice to have been married, but it didn't work out like that for me.
But your blessing is your
I'm
son.
grateful, yes, but it's only because I've had
Exactly.
him. But if
Of
I was
course.
single and 42 now, it's only because my son I was choose as child. But if I was like I was before, I still would have been chasing the marriage first. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say, Lee?
Yeah,
Guys?
I get what you're saying. Totally.
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. I think marriage, male or female, is a scary concept in general. Like if you're not married at the moment, it's hard to kind of picture it. Because again, I think it's like what Ollie was saying earlier. It's just, I think there's a lot of distrust of putting your trust in people in this day and age, and especially when you get to a certain age, I think you think, don't know about all that, or taking those risks seem a little bit more like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. There's a little bit more hesitation. There definitely is for me. I was definitely like, I want to get married, definitely. But now it scares me a little bit. So whereas it's something I always wanted to do, I can't see it. I physically cannot envision it. Can't see myself in that situation at all, even if I tried. So I get it, Angela. Like, I never thought I would have 3 children and be single. Never, ever, ever, ever thought that was my life. Ever could never have imagined that being my life. But now I'm scared to let anyone into that, to kind of rock that boat, if that makes sense. Because I know I've got me, I know I've got them. And if I know I've got me and I know I've got them, I feel like I'm good. but putting that in someone else's hands,
I agree.
oh,
I
that's
agree.
scary to me at this point, because I've done so long without it. And I think I'm at that age now where I'm like, I'm looking at people my age and older and thinking, wow, you're this age and this is how you lot go on. Do you know what I'm saying? And move, and I just can't see myself.
Let me just pop in there. Listen,
Putting myself in that position, it's a scary place.
Natalie, I totally get what you're saying, 100%, because that was me in my early 30s, yeah? So I met my husband now in my late 20s, early 30s, and I had 2 kids. And I weren't married to their kids' dad, yeah? He wasn't the marrying type. That's what I used to get. And I always thought to myself, I'm not the marrying type neither, cool, whatever. And that was it, done the conversation. When our relationship was becoming really rocky, to the point where we was on the verge of breaking up, he decided to propose to me. Oh no, brother. Oh no, we're not having that. Do you know what I mean? So we broke up anyway. When I met my husband, and Olu is what you're saying, he's testament to, right? Because when I met him, he was I say 5 years older than me. So he was ready to settle down. He wanted to have children. He wanted to be married before he had children and all the rest of it. We met, we got together, we got married and had children. But, but the thing is, my ex's upbringing with his parents were married, but they used to fight, they broke up and this, that, and the other. So that was his reason for not wanting to get married. My husband now, his parents are still married and together and been married for well over 50 years. Do you know what I'm saying? So for him, that's what he saw, that was his example, that was his experience, and that's what he wanted. And that's what he got, and it took me an awful long time, Natalie, to like you said, put your trust in that person. It took me a long time, but trust and believe, you find the right person, it's gonna be magical. Because you see me now, I do what I want. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's magical. And we get on really well. We're a team. I'm not saying that we're perfect, but we're perfect for each other and we do our thing. Do you know what I mean? And our boys are extremely happy. So, it can work. And I was the skeptical one. He was the one that was like, no, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I was just like, yeah, but what about, and what about, and what about? And the slightest little thing that triggered me, which was from my trauma from the ex, I was like, oh, that's it, I don't want no more. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's the best thing I've done. It's the only thing it has done is elevated my life. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's enriched my life. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got a whole bigger family. Like his parents I'm their daughter, regardless. I'm their daughter. Our families have all merged, like the whole wider family. Do you know what I'm saying? So it can be magical, but it can also be extremely, extremely daunting. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But I get your point. I 100% know what you're saying, especially when you've got younger kids and you're just, you're getting on, you've got your thing, you're set up right and everything. For someone to come in and try and, it's a lot, but it can work. Trust me.
I believe marriage is a beautiful thing, Nikki, and I also like to get married one day. I think as well, though, I have to ask myself, am I even ready to?
What do you mean?
You said that last time.
I wanted to. How can you not be ready?
No, of course, I would embrace it if it came. Don't get me wrong, Nikki. But Nikki, being a wife, you gotta be a wife. Do you understand? Right
what
now.
Do you mean? But when you say you've got to be a wife, what's your perception of a wife?
Okay. Obviously, it depends what kind of guy you go for. But just say, for instance, like I don't know. Well, what example can I give? Okay, I don't know. Like, say, for instance, I'm making dinner. I can kind of like persuade my son what to have. Oh, let's have this. Maybe that's all I've got. Do you understand? I didn't really go shopping to go and get that and that and that. Do you understand? Like, I'll be honest, like today I didn't cook, but I quickly did I ordered in African Ghanaian food. I ordered it in just because I really wanted it. But I had the time. I was still catching up. I was at a wedding. I was waiting for the weekend for a wedding, so I'm a bit behind work stuff. So I ordered it in. Do you understand? And cook something small. Do you understand? But now if I got a husband now. I'm not saying you're going to be that militant type. You might be flexible as well with that. but I need to be like, you know, I need to be more ready, more organized, maybe. Do you know what I mean? I can't really like I'm like that. If I'm in a long-term relationship, my guy when he comes over, there's always gonna be cooked food. I will cook. Do you understand? But then when it's when it's me and my son, I'm still cooking, but I'm not under that crazy pressure. Do you understand? I'm not under that crazy pressure that it's got to be done by this time. Come on. Do you understand? So I'm a bit more flexible. Sometimes I have to ask myself, and even me, if I'm honest as well, guys. Yeah, I'm stuck in my ways a little bit as well now. Do you understand? Sometimes I'm a bit OCD. Do you know what I mean? I get butted by little things. So I've got to also be able to be a bit more flexible as an individual. So I would need some kind of like training and counseling and stuff.
Yeah.
But to be a good wife, I need work.
Go to wife school.
Exactly. I need to go to work. I might think, I might be a bonus to somebody. I could also be a bit of a nightmare. So it's also that adjustment now, because obviously I'm 42. So I've been doing my things. Obviously, when I'm in a long-term relationship, it's funny how I can just quickly shift and adjust. But then obviously, lifetime now, I'd want to be the best wife I can be. Obviously, he's being the best husband, so I will do what I need to do. He does what he needs to do. But at the same time, when you've been by your like when you haven't been like in a lifetime relationship for that long, I would also need to be shown as well. I don't know. I also have to learn. When I look at my one friend, she's married, beautiful family, absolutely beautiful family. Her husband is very Ghanaian. She's cooking fresh Ghanaian food every day, but she likes it. She likes it. Do you understand? Yeah. So does that mean I've got to choose a guy that doesn't like it that much? That's going to be a challenge for me because I'm more of a person that likes to work rather than I will cook. I love cleaning, ironing, everything else, but cooking, I'd have to do it because of my son. I have to do it. But if it was just me by myself, oh God. I don't know how the pots be coming out once a week, mate. Simple.
No, I agree. Like, I cook because I've got kids.
Simple.
I've got little kids, so I cook. They can't cook themselves. You know what I mean? And like, if he wants to,
it's more duty, isn't it?
No, it's not my duty at all.
No, I said you cook because it's duty.
Because it's duty. Yeah. The children have got to eat, and it's boring. I don't like it. It gets on my nerves. I don't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? But one thing I will say, whatever I cook, my husband eats. Whatever I cook, he does. So he will eat it. Do you know what I'm saying? I think, okay, the kids have got to eat, and obviously I think of him and he's got to eat. But then there's times I'm like, you know what, babe, I'm not cooking today. All right, cool. And then he'll sort food out for himself and the boys or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So
nice.
So sorry, Olu, you've been stretching and thinking. I feel like you've been waiting to say something.
Not really, because the original question was, are men phobic to commitment? That was the original question. So it's really about how men feel about it. And I was listening to all of you speak, and what Nikki said really resonated with me, and what you said, because she said before she met her husband, it wasn't even on her mind.
Not really.
She met a man who knew what he wanted and said, listen, this is what I want it with you. Trust me, it'll be okay. And I think
also seeing how his parents were made me trust him even more, because he had already obviously seen it.
But notice how you went from, I'm not sure about this, to, okay, I'm going to trust you with this. Please look after it. And then when you got to know him, you saw that his model was, this is all I know. My parents were married. So it goes to show that when you do pick a partner, you've got to do some research on the guy.
For true.
Do some research on the guy, because like you said, Natalie, if you've been through your relationship didn't quite work out, now you've learned to rely on yourself, and to give up for a complete stranger, that's asking a lot.
It is.
It's asking a lot. So I think you really need to, if you're contemplating marriage, really think about, okay, let me research the guy. Does he share the same values as me? Because marriage can mean different things to different people.
Exactly. Totally.
You know, so it's about conversation. It's about what do you expect from marriage? Because the man must say, well, I expect my wife to cook, clean, blah, blah. You're like, hold on. That's not what I see marriage is all about. You know? So it's really about having those conversations about, okay, what do you expect? And it's a partnership. It's a case of, okay, it can be a beautiful experience. You have to work at it.
Definitely.
Just like relationships, you have to work at them. You see now.
Most definitely.
And it's that, because I think we live in an age where you don't want to just discard it, get another one.
Yeah.
But our parents weren't like this.
Mm.
And sometimes we might think, you know, oh, I saw how my mum was treated. I don't want to be treated like that. Yeah, but you don't know why your mum stayed there. Yeah. Because she would have known people who did walk out, and their outcomes have been different. But half the time, my parents stayed there for the kids.
Mm. See, now and that was another thing about, like, you know, getting married and stuff. Settling down wasn't a problem for me. It was the whole getting married thing. That wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I was with my ex for a lot of years, we had children, but it was the marriage thing. And simply for me, my examples were not the same as my husband's examples. Yeah, I come from a family of single mums, Jamaican single mums. Yeah, so when I used to talk to like my aunt or my mum about whatever, there's that's him.
Yeah.
Simple. That was the answer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like my grandma, even my gran, like, you know, when she came from Jamaica, she came with my granddad and whatever, but they never stayed together. You know, I think by 1974-5, they had divorced because my gran said, I'm not having it. She was
74.
74. So they got married, they came to the country, and they were together for a few more years, and then they broke up. I don't really remember my grandparents being a couple.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember my grandparents being a couple. They were around for donkey's years, but they were never a couple. They spoke, they were fine, they were okay with each other, but they weren't a couple. They lived separately. Do you know what I mean? And even when my granddad died, my gran sorted out his funeral and everything. And even her friends were like, well, what do you mean you're doing his funeral? But she said, he's my ex-husband, he's my children's dad. Why wouldn't I? Do you know what I mean? But like I said, like my family, I think in my generation now, like of me and my cousin, there's more of us married than it was my aunts and uncles married. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of saw that. And I think as I got older, I saw that, you know what, this is not the way. Like, it doesn't have to be like this. Why do we always have to? And it, you know, and I see my mum and my aunts and all that struggling on their own. It was a struggle. It wasn't like they were just living life and being cool. They were struggling. You know what I mean? So that was a scary thing for me about getting married. But when, like Olu says, you do your research, man. You have to see who this man's family is, who they are, and what are their beliefs, what are their values, what are their principles, what do they want in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So we've got people change, right?
It's true.
Change, though. We all change. People change in the journey as well.
They do. We've got another male perspective from Amaze, who said, it's not because of money why I'm not married. I would love to get married if I could find a person who does try to convert to something else. I find many women I have dated and been serious about choose comfort over striving for greater things. What
they change then as soon as they get married, I'm assuming.
I think he wants someone who's a go-getter like him.
Yeah, like him.
But they're comfortable being. So you need someone that matches that. He needs someone that matches that energy, and he just hasn't found that yet. I think that is. Sabi Joe has said the older generation of women put up with a lot of violations and disrespect in their marriages and stayed in unhappy relationships. The children of those relationships, girls, grew up watching this behavior and grew into women not tolerating certain behavior, which is why women will divorce or break up a relationship. And Michelle has said that's why Ghanaians, before they agree for their sons and daughters to get married, they do a thing called knock-ins, in which they research the family.
Well, it's what we all needed. We all should be that.
DBS, man. DBS, you lots are. There should definitely be relationship and emotional DBSs.
Wow, DPS, you know.
DBS, they ask. Because people can be exactly who you want them to be up to a certain point, and then it's not who they are at all to get into the doors. But I think I look back and I think, well, you're an idiot because you saw the patterns from everything they said they went through with all their ex-girlfriends. Why did you think you was different?
Exactly.
And then when it was happening to you, you still had excuses for it. You're a fool.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't even
people
blame
change,
him.
Natalie. People change.
No, but when I saw the behavior happening in my relationship,
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
was still, because I was trying to hold on to it, I was still making excuses. But when I got my head out the cloud, I was like, well, you're an idiot. Because I always, that's how it's happened in every other relationship they've been with. When you guys were just friends, he told you how all his relationships went. And you saw it then starting to happen in your relationship. And you still went there. Yeah. So really, for me, I can't even blame my man. You have to blame yourself.
No,
because
for true. No, I agree.
I was willing it to not be that. But if it's that, look at patterns as well. I know people can change, but if there's patterns there and there's certain behaviorals that match those patterns, sometimes the pattern not dead yet.
Yeah.
And you have to just take a step back, I think. And no, but it's a gamble. It's a gamble. But should we go to the
see what some comments?
Any new ones?
What we got?
Tricia said, I agree with them 100%. Tony Cox has said, pretty accurate, 100%. I see no lies. Michelle, in agreement. Okay, I want to read that Nubia's comment, yeah? She says, this is the biggest crock of shit I've heard in a long time, and I'm embarrassed that a woman wrote it. People don't marry with the view of taking half. They marry to get married and share a life with their happily ever after. If that's not your definition of love or your perspective on marriage, do not get married. If you do get married and you're scared of her leaving and taking half, sign a frigging prenup. I swear these memes intentionally aim to skew views on things that can be beautiful. And I kind of agree with that. You know, when you're going into it with a negativity, then it's going to be negative, right?
Yeah.
But don't you think a prenup's a bit of a violation?
Go back to Alison's comment. Alison's written their prenuptial agreement is good, but this applies to both men and women. Whoever is well made before the marriage stands out to lose more.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's unfortunately, I mean, the idea of marriage is absolutely everything that Nubia says. I think it is beautiful. Yeah. You just have to find two people that feel exactly the same way. And if it's not that, everyone sees things, I think, differently. And then you might find someone that thinks like that, but then you've got someone who thinks, nah, I've got to protect this though. I've got to thingy that though. Whereas the other person might not even have that on their mind. So although it's idealistic 100%, but I think the problem, the meme is there because a lot of these things unfortunately come up a lot in reality. Whereas that is, for me, that's my ideal. If that's what it was, I wouldn't have an issue at all. If that's what it was, just across the board all the time. But it's unfortunately, it's not always that. And you know, you can't always read intention.
Yeah. So Melissa responded to Nubia and said, the sentiment is lovely. The reality can be something else entirely. If you marry the right person for the right reason, it shouldn't be an issue. Also, prenups can still have clauses to protect both parties. I've seen people go through this process. It can be ugly, unfair, and toxic, which is fair as well. It's very fair. I'm going to see if there's any more. Okay, Nubia says, I get that. I've heard the trials, but I swear I must have had the least antagonistic divorce in history. I was determined that it was going to be the least painful route for our children. Not an argument, not a cussing, just in and out, and the house is in our names. Reason ran above everything.
That's good.
So Melissa then responds, says, nice to hear that your journey was peaceful and respectful. I've witnessed others that have left me speechless. Parting ways is hard enough, but when people are intentional about getting all they can, witnessing the impact is hope. I can't see.
Witnessing the impact is hope. Okay. No.
Yeah, the rest is cut off. So
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, so Nubia, thankfully, has had a great divorce, but I've seen some ugly, horrible divorces. Just reading, yeah, so Amma says the same thing. I'm really sorry, but this is a very selfish way to look at marriage. This describes the fault of someone who doesn't really understand how to be in a team and the benefits of it. There is so much more in a marriage if only we were taught how to do it right. Like Olu says, like we need marriage school, not just wife school, innit, Olu? Like,
yeah. And also, you know what? When you get to a certain age, you've got to approach it like a business deal, you know. Because if you come to a certain stage in your life where you're established and you want to take a risk with somebody, you've got to safeguard your interests. So prenups might work for some people. It might also be a case of, okay, let's be very clear in terms of should this go left, how are we going to split the assets? Because you've got to understand that prenup could be, oh, I don't trust you, so I'm just in case. No, I wouldn't like to go to something and the woman's thinking that. You see now?
Yeah.
But what you could do is say, look, okay, look, I'm going it 100% genuine. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work out. However, can we agree that should it not work out, we just split everything, we're just decent about it?
Yeah.
You see now?
Yeah.
That is better than a prenup, because a prenup suggests, look, let me just keep something aside in case no. And most men will feel like it's a violation.
Well, Angela Barnett said, I didn't have one, but exes knew their lives wouldn't be worth living if they tried to get hold of any of my shit. The whatless cowards left with their caroches in black bags. Get anything from me? Not a backside.
So we know where Angela stands.
It's not that breakups in relationships. We want all the stuff that the person bought for you. Now, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, I always say it's bad now, but remember the good times, man. The good times. Be amicable about it.
I saw a picture of even that guy, is it Alex Rodriguez, the one who was going out with Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
He had taken a picture on the red Ferrari he bought for her 50th birthday. So obviously he took the car back. Even he took the car back. Yeah.
And they're both rich like hell.
They're both rich and he took the car back.
Wow.
I think as well, it's going to have a lot to do with her, like, falling back into her ex's arms almost immediately, didn't she? So there's some sour crust.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
There's going to be, he's going to be sour about that as well, Nick.
Yes.
Because Bennifer is back.
They are big and bold.
What, Ben and...
up on the beach, I look holes and everything.
Yeah. Next day.
They're back together.
Next day.
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
Next
they're
day.
back together.
Straight away. No.
They've been house hunting.
She'd have been briefed. She was with him the next day.
They've even been remaking all their old paparazzi pictures. So they've been doing.
She didn't go back to Puffy. She went back to Ben Affleck.
Yeah, next day.
He broke up with his wife, innit?
They left his wife.
Jennifer Garner. They broke up.
So
next day.
Yeah. You look distressed, Olu.
But the next one, I wanna go on to the next thing, because that's
a juicy one, isn't it?
That's a juicy one.
I've never been married, so I don't feel like I can only give perspective from what feels like is right or wrong.
So is it okay to date while you're married but separated? Olu, I think you should answer this.
Why can't you answer it, Nikki? Are you trying to draw me in? Why can't you answer the question?
Because all right. I think if your marriage is over, you've decided that your marriage is over, yeah? Sometimes it takes people quite a while to go through the formalities of divorce. So if you are literally over separate, living apart, none of this, oh no, he's still in the house because, and I'm still living there because, you know, no, none of that nonsense. But if he's got his life, she's got her life, but you just haven't done the formalities of a divorce, then I think it's okay to date. It's gonna get messy if you know, you're still in the same house because, oh, we ain't sold the house yet. Oh, we haven't done this yet. Or we haven't done that. Then no, sort your life out and then get on with it. But I think if you've been apart, separated, you know, and both of you, it's done and finished, then I think it's okay to date or even be in another relationship before. And if divorce is just a formality, not if you're still in a mix up and a mingle up, no. But if it's just a divorce is the formality, then I think that's okay. I mean, I personally know someone, it took her 4 years to get divorced, 4 or 5 years to get divorced. And that's simply because when they broke up, you know, she broke up with him. He didn't want to leave the marriage. So he was like, you got to divorce me then, love. I'm not going to go solicitor and paying for it because them things cost money. You know, to go through a divorce, you know, to instruct a solicitor and stuff, it does actually cost money. But when you do it after 5 years of being separated, I think you don't have to pay. You can do it online or something like that. So that's
Online,
what she waited. Yeah, you just do it you can do it without their knowledge. You can just do it on your own, off your own back. Yeah. But if it's less than 5 years, then obviously
you need the consent. Yeah,
right, exactly. And that's what she done. She waited for the 5 years, but he was like, well, if you're the one that wanted to break this marriage up, you're the one that wanted to leave, so you divorce me. And she did 5 years later. So she didn't.
Sorry, can you repeat that last bit again? She's the one that what?
She was the one that wanted to leave him. Yes, she broke up. She wanted to leave. I won't tell you the reasons why.
Well proud of himself, Nanny.
I'm not going to tell you the reasons why, darling.
Here we have it.
But I think, I don't know, again, I don't know the ins and outs and the full legalities of it. I think it can get messy, so preferably if you can wait. But I also think it depends how your thing's set. So people have patterned their things differently. They might both be like later and be happy to keep it moving without it complicating anything with other partners, whereas there might be one who's moved on, one that hasn't. That is very distressing. Or when you both really haven't moved on and you're kind of blurring the lines, there's that as well. So I do feel like it was probably more clean cut to do it when you're divorced, but divorces happen in different ways for different people, and I just think it depends how the thing's set in your actual situation.
Yeah. What do you think, Ollie? You're very quiet there.
The question said, is it okay to date while you're separated and not divorced? Remember I said earlier that we live in a world where we can very quickly dispense of things. You could be married today, right? I'm done with a husband, you're not divorced, and through in your mind, I'm ready to start dating. But for some people, they might think, well, actually, on that principle, I'd rather wait till you actually officially divorce, because then my conscience is clear.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a conversation as well, because if you have removed yourself from a relationship and say it's done, and it's the paperwork that you need to finalize, and the other person is being stubborn about it, they can take you to a place you think this is just long. You see now. Remember I said to you, most divorces are initiated by women. So if a woman's decided it's over, she wants to move on, and the man said, well, I'm fighting, he will still for 5 years, you know.
Yeah.
He will make your life hell. Does that mean a woman can't date?
This is what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying? It's not so straightforward.
Yeah, it's not. But I do agree with, you know, like what Natalie says. It's much better if you just divorce and done. And I think it just makes things so much less messier.
But it's not always that simple.
No, it's not. I agree with you, Olu.
That's why it's ideally. Why is it not that simple?
It's not that simple because you could be a guy in a relationship, it's done. Yeah, you could all move out the marital home, get your own yard and thing. But technically you're still married, but you've moved on. She could make life difficult for you because she doesn't want you to be over. Is the man doing anything wrong?
Why can't you divorce those? Why can't they divorce?
Because the woman has to sign the paper. It's like a contract.
It's
a contract to start. It's a contract to end it.
Yeah.
Oh, so
but
if the person doesn't sign it, you can't divorce.
Or you have to pay for it.
No, not even that.
You have to pay anyway. I mean,
Someone's got to initiate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they sent it to the recipient, and they got to respond. If they just say, "I'm not engaging in this," it's long.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
And
Yeah.
you've instructed a solicitor, you know, so you've paid money.
Yeah. And they could
The
just say,
person
they
can
could just
refuse to
ignore you.
divorce, and you just you're in
You
it.
can refuse. Yeah, you can refuse
They
to
can
sign
refuse
it.
and just ignore you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
can
that. Who's doing that? No, you want to do
People do.
When it gets
Bye.
messy, that's because one person's
Bye.
trying to hang on.
That's
Oh, is
right.
it?
Yeah, it can
Yeah.
get messy.
How long
And
can it go?
imagine this situation as well, though. You're married, you broke up, you separated, but you're still technically married. If one of
Technically,
those people die, you know, the person who is the spouse is still entitled, whether you're separated or not. Yeah?
It depends
That
how you
man-
pattern your will. Depends how you pattern your will. Yeah.
Right. Obviously, your will is different, but yeah. But as a wife, you're still entitled to bits and pieces. Do you know what I mean? So.
And you know what? I know something that happened to, she was going for a divorce. Yeah, he divorced her in this situation. So she didn't want a divorce. But you know what? Listen, when I say this man wanted everything, even though he didn't contribute to it, he wanted everything.
Really?
Yeah, man. Something, it can be very messy,
Yeah.
It can be messy. Because people forget this. It takes 2 years to come together. It takes 2 years to separate as well.
So if the person refuses to sign, how long can they do that for then?
Yeah,
5
5
years.
years.
So after 5 years, automatically you can divorce.
Yeah.
Then you could say, because you've been separated, technically, yeah. But you know what? That's why some people don't bother. They just move on.
Yeah,
Let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it. Yeah.
But then saying that, even that in itself, like my mum, God rest her soul, didn't divorce her husband. And they were separated for donkey's years. We hadn't seen him for donkey's years. When my mum passed away, I went to register my mum's death. And because she was Mrs., they had to put down his name on her death certificate.
Yeah.
The wife of.
Yeah.
I said she hadn't been with him for like however many years. She said, but because they're not divorced and this marriage certificate is still here, then I've got to put her, that's how I've got to put it down. That's how they do it when you register them. So again, you're better off divorcing in my eyes.
And also again, you know why some women don't do the paperwork? Because it allows them to use 2 surnames. Let's get to that as it is now.
What?
Because they got their married surname, so when they finish, they're like, okay, I'll go back to my maiden name. So then they got 2 identities, so it works in their favour. That's why a lot of women don't go for the paperwork as well. Men don't have that option. Men don't
I
have that
wouldn't be
option.
giving up my surname anyway. Joke. I'm chatting shit at this point.
Let's read some of the comments.
Right.
Okay. Our producer Michelle says, from past experience, no. Let the marriage be dead and buried. Divorce papers signed. But Jess Simmons
She
says,
actually went to my school. We went to school together.
you and Jess.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jess says, definitely. My divorce took 3 years to be worked out, and if I'd have waited, I would have missed out on starting my new life. If it's done, it's done. No need for a piece of paper to tell you that.
There you go.
And you know what? She has a new fiance who she's marrying, I think at the end of this year or next year. She has a lovely little family. They just welcomed the son in a few months ago as well. And she just gushes about them all the time on social media. Like, she's really, really happy. So I would be gutted for her if she did miss out on this, because it sounded like before it was a nightmare. And this was actually what was meant for her, but she could have missed out on this.
Which is what I was saying. She could have missed out. Yeah.
No, I agree with Jess. Michael Shan says yes, straight. Pamela says best to wait and give yourself time to close one door before opening another. But in Jess's situation, her door was shut, and if she'd have waited until she was divorced, that door would have never been opened. She'd have been knocking on it forever.
I think you should always give yourself time to recover.
Definitely.
When you come out of a relationship, marriage or not, anyway.
100%.
To be whole again before you make yourself, like, before you half, you're one whole of a half again. But I think if a divorce is taking ridiculously long, then no.
was this Deanzio James said, nah, that's bigotry. Y'all took an oath, find a way to work it out. Oh dear. And Nick said, I don't see a problem if the marriage is over for both parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's true. Like you said, people need to heal. You know, it just needs to, you need some time to heal and reflect. But yeah. Jackie says, not for me. Married and separated is still married. Amma says, not if the purpose of the separation is to figure out what you really want, if you just need time. If the separation is the prelude of a divorce, then yeah, wouldn't advise to date, but I guess one would.
What does that mean?
So she's basically saying that,
Yeah.
you know, like when people want, you know, oh, we're on a break. And that's kind of things what people say, that's usually what technically what I see a separation as is for you to take time if you need space or whatever to think about your next steps. I've never been a person to do that because when it done. I'm not, I don't do the back and forward thing. But I see what she's saying. Like if it was a case of, like you said, it's about talking, isn't it? And what's the outcome going to be? All right,
Yeah.
we're going to separate for a bit, but we're going to come back together in whatever time. We're going to see if we can sort out our differences and see if our marriage can work. Or, you know what, we're separating to get divorced and it's finished.
Yeah.
So that's two different situations. So even though you're separating, the separation is the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But usually separation is not that amicable. It's usually one person wants to take time out and the other person says, no, let's work it out.
No,
You know?
that is true. But then it's, you know.
Because if you went to work out as a couple, you go through therapy as a couple. You see that? Whereas if you're separation, what you possibly want is either one person wants you to go out or one person wants to be in their own. That's what separation means. One person usually wants to be on their own. That's what separation is. But the problem is that once you get used to it, you might think, you know what, it's okay, I'm not coming back. So let's be very clear. If you have a problem as a couple, you resolve it as a couple. If you're
I agree with that, but a lot of people don't. There's a lot of people that don't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the whole break thing is
Yeah,
what they think might
nonsense.
secure it or is what they think it'll be healthy for us. I've heard that, a little break or a little separation, whereas I just think it just opens the door. It can blur lines. Anything can happen within that time that can
someone dates someone or sleeps with someone but we was on a break or we were separated.
Yeah, all of them ones. Yeah.
We're together.
Yeah.
It's like in any relationship, you take time out, you're having a break, and then you meet someone. Did the person cheat on you?
The whole long
stipulations. You got to stipulate that and agree before you take.
Oh, come on, Natalie. Okay, we're breaking now. You can't see anybody or think of anybody. No, people don't have that conversation. We just we're taking time out.
Don't
really?
they? Yes.
Wow. That's specific.
Yes. Angela, what's your take? What do you think?
In my younger days, I would have had an outburst. Like I would have thought, even though you're taking a break, you can't see nobody. But if I'm honest in the world that we live in, okay, maybe my world, whatever, I don't know. But if I was, for me, I'm not married. I'm not married. I'm not married.
Or even a long-term relationship that you know, a long-term relationship or a marriage, and then
if I'm not married, Nikki, if I'm married, maybe a bit more different. If I was in a long-term relationship and we're not married and we're taking a break, I'm still not married. I can do what I like.
The straightest face ever. Angela, I can do what I like. Tell me something.
Oh, you give me jokes. I'm not married. Ollie's got
this whole long-term relationship. We didn't marry me anyway.
Yeah.
Whole long-term relationship. The man didn't marry me anyway. So I don't need to be sitting around waiting for a separation. We were together long-term. You didn't marry me anyway. And then we're on a break, and I should still sit around single. Oh wow. Am I stupid?
It's too funny, you know.
Exactly.
Is that how you're moving?
That's how I'm moving. I'm moving mad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was with you for what, 3-4 years? And you didn't marry me. And we're separated. I should sit down still like a married wife, and I'm a wife. Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Like in my old years, like in my old days, with my ex-boyfriend, we didn't think I'm all stressed out. Oh no, you can't talk to no like. You know what I mean? But now, as I'm older, no, it wouldn't really impact me. I'll do my do. I take that opportunity to look for someone else maybe as well. If I'm ready, do you understand? I'll use the opportunity window to look for someone else. You've been married to me all that time anyway. What am I doing?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really in the backward and forward, taking a break and all that. Either we're in it or we're not. There's no break and then see what happens, because and like Angela says, you don't know what he's doing or what, you know, we don't know what each other. No, that would kind of
we know
play
what
on my
he's
mind.
doing.
So that's me. I'll be like, later, innit? Get it? It's not a break. It's the end, if that's the case.
What about if you're in a break with him and you saw him with another partner?
You can't talk.
That's his partner now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that his
That's your
partner?
now.
But you're in a break, you're just taking time.
That's your
Time
partner.
out for what? You ever talk it, you ever work it through together, or you take a break, everyone can do what they want to do. It's like simple. You work it through together.
And I'm not being funny. If you're taking a break, I'm thinking if you really need a break, this should be personal time for you to grow as a person.
Right.
Why are you filling the void? That's not a break.
You're underneath someone else.
Filling it with another, underneath someone else. It's just a break from that person because you're bored of that, or you don't want to do that, or you want to try a little something else.
No, he wants a break to explore his options.
What option?
So does she.
Listen, man explore their options, break or not.
So does she. You got explore option. No, we're not attaching.
Please.
It should be both ways. It should be both ways, though. You understand?
Yeah,
it's not fidelity. Right. You're not married. We're not married. It's not fidelity.
But if a woman
sorry.
If a woman does that while she's on a break, they have a stroke. But if a guy does that when you're on a break, we're on a break. Like, why are you even whiling? What's the problem?
A woman does that when a man's on a break. There's 2 funerals.
It is. She's all kinds of hoes and hoes and hoes.
It's 2
if
funerals.
A man does that,
it's 2 funerals.
The man,
oh wow.
Most women, the man would never know. Most women, the man would never know. You'd never know. You'd never know.
Yeah. Guys, are you hearing this?
It's true.
This month, you would have known.
Real talk, you'll never know.
That's very true.
Netflix the whole time we were on a break. Yeah.
I was crying in my Haagen-Dazs. I didn't have time for no man.
I've lost weight. you don't see
cut my hair.
Touching our hair. You see how we're touching our hairstyles up. Yeah, fresh look.
New man in your life. Do your hairstyle. New hairstyle. New man in your life.
I do think, if a woman wants to get back with her man, but she knows he ain't gonna have that. She ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't saying nothing. She ain't saying nothing. She ain't saying nothing. She ain't saying
and
nothing.
that's the difference between men and women, isn't it? Like, a man can cheat on a woman and the woman find out and he gives her all the different reasons or excuses or whatever under the sun, and she's supposed to be all right, babe, forgive you or whatever. If a man found out that his woman had sex with somebody else, like Olu says, there's a good couple funerals going on, isn't there?
The first funeral is the relationship.
See it dead in the water.
Yeah.
And then it will probably be the woman and then the man, or the man and the woman, or together even, Olu? At the same time.
That's why you guys will never know.
Exactly.
I think you know what? That's a good point, Andrew. That's why women don't talk, man, because they know we can't handle it, and 2, it could end up that way. Yeah. So especially we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Completely.
Because if you know the nature of your man, you think he will not be able to stomach this. Especially
he can't. Yeah, he can't go over it. Yeah.
No,
listen, mate. I got cheated on a good few times. Yeah, and yes, I did go back. But when I decided enough was enough, and we broke up, and then I was single for a good few years. Then I met my husband. Oh my God! But all this time, man was with Gyal, you know. All this time, man was with Gyal. From we were together, he was with Gyal. When we broke up, he was with pure like. But when it was time for me now, that was an issue. That was an issue. So I'm supposed to sit down like old Mother Hubbard in her cupboard,
Yes.
looking
And
after your
cry, and
kids
you're supposed
for
to
the rest
mourn
of
for
my
the rest of
life.
your life.
Yes.
Yeah, you're supposed
Olu's telling me yes.
you're supposed to be a complete write-off, Nick.
Exactly.
Write off, stamp, close
yeah,
it, don't
I don't
it's done.
understand that mentality with
True.
men.
We can emotionally handle, even though we shouldn't have to,
Yeah.
more than men can in
Correct.
that capacity. When
Right.
they do actually really, 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 really like someone, even though they still may cheat, if they get cheated on or that
Wrong.
loyalty
It's a problem.
is questioned, they physically cannot handle it in the same way that we handle it. But disclaimer, that is not me saying we're better equipped to handle it, because I also don't think that we need to suffer to have love. And I think that that's a common thing that women can deal with it, man. That's men. Okay, well then I don't want men, because it's not something that you should have to kind of put up with. A man will cheat on his wife throughout. I know a guy that cheated on his wife throughout. Went on a break for about 18 months. Woman went on a few dates because she didn't think they were going to get back together. They managed to get back together. He'd been seeing this one, that one, this one, that one. No relationships, but just sleeping around. Was quite happy to say, yeah, you know, I want to be honest with you. Want to tell you. She said to her, like, be honest with me. She said, yeah, I went on a few dates. He ended it.
Oh no.
Had a stroke. And still continues to push the narrative of that's why he doesn't trust. Basically, a stroke. I call it a stroke, and basically pushes the narrative to this day that is why he doesn't trust women. No, that's why he doesn't trust women. But you are the same crosses, yeah, that throughout the relationship cheated, was seeing this one and that one and this one throughout the relationship, and was quite happy to say, look, I saw this girl and I saw that girl and I saw this one and I saw that one, but they didn't compare to you. Yeah, I went on a few dates. Oh my God.
You know why that is, don't you, Natalie? Because as men, we visualize that, hold on, so what are you doing me doing next, man? We can't handle that.
Yeah.
We can't handle that.
I can't handle
We're supposed to.
I can't handle that.
As men, we can't handle that. That was, hold on. If I don't, you're doing that brother there. Even if it's a date, you know, just a date, he's really seen the sex. He's played that in his mind. And because he wasn't part of it, he can't handle it.
But was he playing it in his mind when he was like hopscotching?
No, you was on his mind then. That was all about him.
Yeah,
but the moment he thinks, if you say to a man that you think, oh, you want a date, he's thinking you went on a date, you've had sex, you did this, you did that. Because he's played it in his mind, especially if he's had something with you.
Don't you mean that's what he done? Because that's what he done. He thinks that's what you done. By their standards. Behavior. Yeah, exactly. The amount of times that I, you know, where I go out raving and whatever, and it would be like, well, who was there? You was out. Who was you dancing? I'm like, mate, I don't do that. I go to rave and have a drink. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but then, you know, again, like Natalie said, I used to think afterwards, I thought to myself, Nick, you're an idiot. Like, how many red flags was there waving in your face? And you just, do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I thought now, man.
Sorry, Michelle said, men want to grind pepper in someone's pot, but don't want no one grinding pepper in his pot.
For real? Yeah.
Grinding pepper, you know.
Grinding pepper in his pot. There's definitely a lot more that women can handle, but I just want to say it doesn't mean they should have to, and it does still destroy the woman.
Exactly.
Don't get it twisted. And
I think what
outlook.
you were saying before, Olu, about women, there's a lot of times it's the women that do not want to get married. A lot of this is the reasons why, mate.
The emotional trauma is too much.
Yeah.
Who wants to give someone that power to destroy your soul like that?
Easy, Natalie, man. This ain't no family thing.
No, I'm just saying. You like, ain't no one gonna. You come out of things and you think, ain't nobody gonna have the opportunity to get me like that again. And you consciously make sure that even if you talk to someone or whatever, you're stepping easy to make sure that you don't let them in too much, because you're not gonna pull me down to the ground. I'm not gonna be on the
Make me
ground like that
vulnerable.
ever again.
Yeah, not again.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also,
Because
again,
breakups are hard, and
I'm gonna
once
say
you've gone through like your serious breakup or your serious heartbreak, you literally tell yourself it's like mourning, it's like death, it's like mourning. But this is more of a mourn. You can't control death. This is a mourning you can control. I ain't mourning like that for no one.
men hurt too.
Huh?
Men hurt too.
Oh.
They do. They get hurt. They get bummed. They get bummed.
Oh. Yeah, but then
they don't show it. They don't show it.
I can't talk for how men see it, how they view it, and how they feel after. I can't, but I can tell you as a woman why we are very. If you've come out of relationships or you've lived your life and had relationships, why you're very wary about letting people in on that level again, especially if you've built yourself back up to a strong place. Who wants to leave themselves open and vulnerable again?
Yeah.
Okay, Natalie, you know what? Natalie, again. When a man's done a dirt in a woman, you think, that's the nature of man. Yeah, it's quick to write that off.
Yeah.
When a woman gives a man bun,
oh
he
God.
feels it.
Bun,
He feels it. He feels it. His boy looking like you're an idiot. Yeah. There's many levels of this, you know.
Yeah, but don't think your girlfriends who have also been cheated on don't look at you like you're an idiot.
Yeah, but they can write it off though. They say, well, what do you expect? That's a red flag. When a man gets bun, and it's a public bun, he can't tell no one. He has to hold the L. And don't people say, yeah, exactly, yeah, he was going to my man's girl. Do you know how on different levels, some men have to just stop raving, redress within themselves. It's deep. When it's deep when men get bun, you know, and everyone knows. It's deep.
Yeah, but don't you think it's just as deep for a woman to know that your man cheated with the girl from Sainsbury's or whatever?
Yeah, but you can write off like, he's a dog, he's this. But when a woman gets bun,
but why do you think that we can just write it off, but yet you can't?
Because you could always say, I knew it, red flags, he got history, and say, yeah, what do you expect? But when a man gets bun by a woman, and a woman says, yeah, and what? I've done your friend, and what?
Embarrassment. I think the embarrassment for their mental
Thank
health.
you.
It's the ego trample.
That is
ego.
more damaging. Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. It's hard for a man to come back from that.
For a woman to step out like that, it's not
It's hard for a man to come back like that. No.
But like you said, it's more widely accepted for the man to step out just because he's greedy.
Yeah.
He's just being greedy.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
when a
dirty
woman
and
stepping out like that,
stinking.
there's something fundamentally wrong.
And dirty and stinking and terrid
Which
and
is why,
notorious and community.
which is why when men get caught next man's wife, it usually ends up peak. Then when it the other way around.
What?
Yeah.
It ends up peak for women. Don't think women don't get it popping.
They will cast, they will shout, they will scream.
Nah,
there's burials involved.
No.
What, you're chopping someone's wife? Nah, man. That's the next level, isn't it?
That's another.
You're chopping someone's wife.
That's too much. That's too much.
Not a wife.
That's a disrespect. That's a
big disrespect. It's a disrespect, isn't it? It's a big disrespect.
Just as disrespectful as, you know.
You write that one off.
We're not finna keep writing it off.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Just as big as a disrespect.
I feel like could we get over it? We're unable to get over it.
I don't even think we get over it. We brush it under the carpet because we love them so much. We want it to work.
Put up the facade.
So we put up the facade and we hope and wish and think, I haven't thought about it for 2 days. I'm over it. When we're
until
not,
you're lying in bed by yourself.
Want it to work so bad, but it's not going to because it's a dirty crisis.
I agree.
And sometimes I think that's what it is. But it does hurt. It does hurt more. But I think it both stings both. I think the male sting also has bravado and ego, and all of that is crushed. But my ego was crushed. My ego was crushed.
Yeah, but the man who does that can say it wasn't about you, babe. He can take you out of the situation. It was about me and my lust, or whatever. But when a woman does it, she's thought about it. Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's thought about it.
He
She's
knows what
thought
he's
about
doing
it.
as well.
She's
He knows what he's
strategized.
doing. Let's
She's
not
At
act
the,
like
at
he's
the
a man.
moment, he doesn't care. At that moment,
He's
ready
not
to
a
lose everything.
Flintstone. He's not a crude. He knows.
Crude, you know.
I think the point, yeah, because the point is like
Yeah.
men and women view sex very differently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is the difference. Like Olu
Yeah.
said, a man will go, he's probably, you know, a man could turn around and say, well, she ain't giving me nothing. I've got to get it from
Yeah.
somewhere, innit? Or
Yeah.
whatever it is, man, excuses are, whatever it is. But if I don't know, and I'm trying not to generalize here, but I'm sure there aren't many women that cheated on their partners or husband just to get more sex.
No, they're not happy.
Exactly. They've emotionally checked out.
They're not happy.
And I think that's what
let me
men
shut
can't
up.
handle.
Yeah.
Let me shut up. I'm just saying there have been situations where people no,
You see your face,
nah,
Natalie? Yeah,
they
you see,
finna know
yeah.
I'm talking about them. So okay, I don't care. I didn't say names. There are people I know that have actively been in a relationship but had sightings because the sex was whack, but they love their partner, but the sex
girls.
is like I can't with the sex.
Females.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
Yeah.
that's happened.
Yeah.
Had a
Yeah, I believe that. I
long-term
believe
sex
that.
partner and a long-term partner.
Yeah.
Side man, isn't it? Side man.
Side man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she get caught?
No,
Oh, come on. That's smart.
no. And that's why I can say no. If the woman
Angela.
don't want to get caught,
You can't
she ain't-
say it, can
she's not
she?
gonna get caught. She ain't.
Talk the things, Natalie.
She don't want to get caught. She ain't gonna get caught.
She
Yeah,
can't
I
leave the Simon.
suppose.
She can't leave the Simon alone because he just fills the gap.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but
I get where she's coming from, but for me, that's why when we have a lot of questions in No Bravado, but what if the sex game is weak? We now do it because I
Don't need to
know
stay. Yeah, don't need to
that's
stay.
important
Yeah.
to me.
yeah,
So I'd just rather not entertain that at all because a part of my whole attraction is how that person would actually like put it down. That's
yeah.
a big attraction that like thingy
At
to
this
me. So-
age? At this age, Natalie?
What do you mean?
Yes.
Olu, what are you
I
saying?
won't
What are you
not-
saying,
yeah.
Olu? What are you saying?
What are you saying?
Just gonna say
Telling
any
me,
old
okay,
something?
because I'm not at 20. That you
Any
were
old
just
something?
saying the other day. Am I not 20? What should I be doing?
No, what I'm saying, no. What I'm saying is this, yeah. Just because man can put it down, there should be more than that, man. Surely.
No.
She
I'm
said
saying I know it's
that's
a
an
good.
important part.
It's an important part for me. So I like that passion as well. So I like that if it needs to have that element. I don't know if I could do that element because that's what helps makes it exciting as well.
Exactly.
Let's be
You want it
real.
all. You want it all, don't you?
Yes.
You want
And-
it patterned. The
But how do
D
you
is
go that
good.
far?
He's,
How do you
he's
go that far?
ambitious. Everything. Yeah.
How do you go
But
that
I
far in a
don't think I
relationship?
could live with that forever, knowingly going in. If something happens to my partner, they cripple whatever, I've already built up my love for them, and then obviously they can't form. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knowingly go into something where I know that part is dead as a doornail. That's for me.
But it might be a
I
good
know
guy.
that will
It might be
upset
a
me.
good guy.
How does it get that?
Yeah,
How
but
does it get that far? How does
Yeah,
it get that far?
But what for me, it's like you said that she loved him,
Oh.
but she's got a side man to serve her for sex because the sex is whack.
Hmm.
But what do you love then?
That's what I'm saying. How? What? Yes.
What are you loving? Like, what are you
Nikki?
loving from
Don't
this
know.
guy? I don't
I think
understand.
it's-
What is
I
she
think
loving?
it's
Exactly.
more. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna bait it for her. Okay, I don't care. I think it's more of the way he loves her.
How he treats her,
Yeah,
Right.
and the way he blatantly adores her.
and how is she not thinking about the guy that she's sleeping with? Does she think that that guy's not going to develop any feelings if they're long term having sex? Like, what is it? Just a
See, this is where I think the emotional attachment, because he's not really emotionally attached, and I think she finds it a little bit exciting.
right?
I don't know. This is what I said.
Can I jump in there?
Of course.
Right. She's got a guy. She loves the guy, but he's not flinging under D. But the side man is giving her the work here. You know why she's with that guy? because the security, safe,
yeah.
and his resources. Because if that guy was a waste man and given bad, he should get rid of him.
Yeah.
Let's tell it as it is. He's giving you things that you think, you know what? If there was a tick list of 5 things he's given me 4, I can get one from somewhere else. You see now?
20
but,
more.
but if that man wasn't doing other things, she'd get rid of him because she's thinking, why am I here?
No,
tell it as it is. Tell it as it is.
For true.
Yeah.
And I remember an older woman to me, this is a good few years ago, was said to me, make sure if you find a man that loves you more than you love him, you're set for life. That's what she told me.
Yeah, that's what you're told.
Yeah.
But
but she's done that. Your friend's done that. She's found a man that loves her more than she loves him. Because if she loves him,
till he finds out.
But doing all that, that's time. You've got time for that.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And how could you turn around and say you love someone when you're gonna blatantly lie to them like that?
I don't get. That's what I don't get. That's why I said I don't think it's love like what you think it is. I think you love the way that you're loved. The security that she's got.
That's what I just said to you.
You know,
remember, as you get older, the things you think important are not important because really, what she's done, she's got a good deal when you think about it.
That's right.
Let's tell it as it is. She's got a good deal. She knows he's a good guy. If I leave him to chase what I think is important, I could lose the other things which are working for me. Because if it was that good, get rid of him and go to the man giving you a good deed. That's all he's offering you. That can't sustain you.
Yeah.
That can't sustain you.
Yeah.
However, everybody wants the best possible deal. You want the man that is, or the partner that's physically attractive, ambitious, go-getter, sex appeal, whack. Yeah, you want all of that. But in reality, you don't always get that. You've got to make compromises. Because you know what? You might not be that person to him or her.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's about being realistic.
Yeah. And hanging on to what you got. Exactly. No, totally. You know? But it's just but your friend, she's skating, I think, she's
been a dangerous game.
Very.
Dangerous game.
And I think it's a dangerous game as well, because although it's not been found out yet, it's not exactly shy about it. You know?
That's what I'm talking about. See? So she knows what she's doing.
So she soon gets sloppy. Soon gets sloppy. And watch, if that guy ever finds out, he's going to switch on her and she'll be like, oh my God, why are you being like that for? But like, you know.
I feel like he'd take her back.
Do you reckon? Is he like that?
Like he would. I feel like he would.
Oh, wow.
I feel like he would.
Oh,
I feel
wow.
like he would. Yeah, no.
Then she's blatantly taking advantage, isn't it?
Give me his number. He's not taking it back.
I feel like he would be upset at first of all, but I think she could talk him round in the end. 100%.
See the confidence of women. Wow.
Yes.
I think she could, because I've seen
Angela's there saying yes, girl.
I've seen it.
Really?
I've seen it. I feel like eventually she could.
Okay, Angela, you know what? Natalie, why can't she pattern up the side man?
How?
He ain't feeling it.
The side man likes the deal that they've got. He ain't trying to be nothing else, I don't think. This is perfect for him.
But she should pattern him and then be perfect for her.
It might be too much work.
He don't want to be patterned. And you know what it's like when a man don't want to be patterned? He's not going to be patterned. When they don't, if you don't want to commit, you ain't doing it.
Yeah.
So when it's halfway round, the man's a dog, yeah? When it's halfway round.
I think we're easier to convince and be wooed than you guys are easier to be convinced and be wooed about certain aspects of your life. Like if a woman says she don't want kids, it's easier to change that. I've seen it. If a guy says he don't want kids, he don't want them kids. Don't keep asking a man. All right?
And if you have them kids for him, he's going about
not having them goddamn kids. Stop asking him. Whereas if a woman, if it happens literally by accident, not by planning, and he will blame you until he thingies. If a woman doesn't want kids and says, I never want kids again, she can slyly be changed. Not me though, because I've got my set. I'm done out here. I've already got living proof of having children. I know
you need to have an even number. Make it 4.
Oh no. No. Oh my God, no. I know that if I got into a relationship, the first thing that I'm saying is, listen, I'm not having no kids, you know. So, and that will be a deal breaker for me. That's a deal breaker because I'm not doing it. And I don't want to be like certain people I know that 4 years down the line, you lot are still arguing about it when you both said what you wanted at the beginning, but you thought we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah.
You ain't you can't cross that bridge yet. You're stuck on the bridge.
Yeah.
4 years later, you're still arguing about it. You're breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. So I think you just need to be very clear about what you want, make it clear to each other from the beginning.
Definitely.
And then kind of go from there. So no kids and no dead sex, and we good.
Wow. Not asking for my judge.
We are all right.
Oh dear.
No,
Oh dear.
but was that the last slide, Nick?
Let me just check. Hold on.
No, there's another one about those guys. Bring up that one.
What guys?
What kind of guys do you look women like? That one.
Is there? Is there?
Remember that post about what kind of guys do you women like? Remember that one?
No, that's it. That's all on here.
We can do that next show. Trust me. We'll bring that up. We can do that up. We can do that up. I think all guys about guys that are emotionally unavailable.
No, there's different types of guys physically what they look like, what women like.
Oh,
physically.
slim, athletic, thick, big, thick. I remember that one. You like that one, Ollie? You like that one?
Angela, what kind of guy do you like? Quickly, let's do a fire round.
Me?
Yeah, slim, athletic, tall, short, built, chubby.
I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I like them built, but I'm not so built myself. So. I'm chubby, but I'm not dating no chubby guy.
You're not chubby, Angela.
I am.
You're not chubby. You're not chubby.
You're not chubby at all. I did see you in the flesh.
I would never say you're chubby.
You're not chubby at all.
But this way, I will go for guys that sometimes I don't reflect that myself, but yeah, I like slim or athletic. Athletic, nice.
Why slim athletic?
They don't just look cool. They look cool. Their clothes laid down nicely. You know, just lays down nicely. You know, just it's cool. Nice look. That is what I preach. But yeah.
What about you, Natalie?
I don't really have a type like that, but although I'm not the skinniest, I wouldn't want a fat guy. No offense to big guys, but I don't. It doesn't draw me in. But I don't like guys that are too built either.
Yeah, not that muscular. I don't like that. Yeah,
I like. Funnily enough, can cheat because I'm the polar opposite. I do like a skinny guy or a like medium-sized guy, like medium-sized, but not an Arnold Schwarzenegger, Johnny Bravo type, and not a Nutty Professor type.
So you couldn't take a Nutty Professor and pattern him to lose weight.
No, I'm not patterning no one. I'm tired.
You've got time. I've got time.
I've got 2 kids, 1 teenager, business. We ain't got time.
No one. Easy.
And what if it don't pattern and they just stay fat?
We're gonna sit here for 4 hours, and you think I've got time to sit up and pattern up Nutty Professor?
Yeah, but you try and pattern up Nutty Professor, and he stays Nutty Professor.
But they need love too.
Of course they do.
I absolutely do. There's some people that I think it's preference. It's definitely preference. And like I said, there's gonna be slim guys that are gym guys. I'm not their type because I'm not size 6, I'm not size 8, and I don't have a washboard stomach. So, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
Agreed.
I agree.
Totally.
What about you, Olu?
I don't like them kind of guys at all. No, I think it's interesting when you talk to women, the kind of guys they like. And I put down to it's about age appropriate guys, because when you're younger, you want them to look as good as well conditioned. But as you get older, you're a bit more realistic. You think, you know what? He doesn't have to look like Arnie, but as long as he looks fit. You see, and as long as he knows where the gym is, he doesn't have to live in the gym, but at least where the gym is. And I think some guys get the balance wrong, because if you're too like, yeah, you're about that life, it can put women off.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm thinking, hold on, is that all you do? Is that all you're about? But if you're like, okay, I'm all right, you know, look age appropriate, I think they tend to like that.
But you didn't answer the question, Ollie.
But a little bit of chub is all right, by the way. A little bit of chub.
Yeah, I think so as well, Natalie.
Yeah, a little bit of chub is okay, I think.
Cool. Yeah, it's cute, yeah.
I can live with the little tiny bit of middle-aged spread. I can cope with that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Wow. So all that Fat Joe, what about Rick Ross?
No, hell no.
He lost weight now.
DJ Khaled, all of them, forget it.
Really?
No way. No way. No way on earth would that does not appeal to me at all.
And some women like that look, you know.
I'm sure they do.
When the money's there.
It's a look. It's a
Only
look.
when the money's there.
It's all about preference and when you look at someone, what makes you look. That doesn't make me look back. It just doesn't.
Not at all.
Look at the Tony Braxton sister. Her husband's that big guy. The big guy. One of the Tony Braxton.
I think I know you're talking about. Yeah.
It's the money.
Yeah.
But haven't they been together for quite a long time?
Yeah.
I think it's different when you've been together for years and then
like that.
End up putting on weight. That's different.
I agree.
But I'm not looking at no Fat Joe kind of. If my, you know, and no. And even if my husband was to get, we're gonna have to do something about that, babe. Honestly, and I'd expect the same from him with me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not a size 8 that I was when I met him 20 years ago. He's not a size 32, 28 waist that he was neither. We're both, you know, we've matured, and it shows in our body that we've matured. But if it became to the point where, you know, one of us was getting a bit way, no, I'm not. No, I'll be like, babe, and I would expect with me too. So,
well, guys, I'm gonna close the show for today because we nearly did another full 4 hours. We just can't help ourselves, innit? Thank you so much for Nikki and joining us today. Can I just ask you all just a quick little message that you can send to Trish and her mum of encouragement on the screen before you go, just to wish them well and better.
Okay, we'll do. Trish, Trish, we are praying for your mother and yourself. In Jesus' name, you receive the power and healing that you deserve here. Yeah, lots of love and kisses from all of us here at No Bravado.
Yeah. And
Tricia, just hand this one over to God. Sometimes things are bigger than what we can actually handle. And once you invest your faith in God 100, He'll take care of things. You just stay positive and energetic and healthy for when mum returns home, so you can take care of her and take care of you. Love you dearly.
Oh, thank you. Nick.
Well, Trish, you know you've been on my mind since you got sick, mum as well. I know that you have got some great ancestors walking and guiding you, and they're the ones that are lifting mum up. Yeah, so the ancestors, like both Ollie and Angela says, we leave it in the hands of God. Our ancestors are there as well, pushing and guiding, and you know that we love you to bits. So we got you, babes.
Yes, and I just want to say that we wasn't sure about doing the show. I wasn't 100% comfortable about doing the show, knowing that they wasn't in the greatest place health-wise, but Trish is a lot more better now, and mum is doing so much better than she was, even though, you know, she's still recovering, but you know, she's getting there. And I just want to dedicate this show to them, and I think the show's a testament to how everyone is behind you both. We all love you so much. We've got you, and yeah, you're really well loved. All the comments that people have been sending to her, the messages, everything has been so overwhelming, and it's really nice that everyone's been able to come together and show them their love and really lift people up when they need it. So we love you. we love Mummy Diva. We can't wait till she's home. We can't wait to have you back on here. And yeah, just sending you guys lots of love and healing. We thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And we should definitely be back on the 7th. And thank you guys again so much for coming in today and stepping in. It's a real team. Thank you.
Great host, guys.
I had fun. Thank you. Thanks, Angela. Thanks,
Take
Ollie.
care, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Stay blessed, everybody.
Bye.
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 Who's
Hello.
why? Is Trisha gone to bed?
Maybe.
Oh no, look, she's still
Oh
there.
no, she's back. She's back. Oh, Ian Burnett said, great show. Thank you, Ian. I really want to say thank you again so much, Nikki, for like jumping
No
in
problem,
and
sweetheart.
filling in some high boots. There's some high boots.
I love it.
But
I
you
love
did
it.
fill
You know,
them
I love
very
it.
well. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, babe.
It's been an honor.
You know, I'm always here for the No Bravado crew.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been a while, so it's weird coming back. It even feels weird today coming back, and then especially because
Trisha's not even there.
Trisha's not here, but it's been amazing. And again, I just love the outpour of love that she's received across the board from everywhere, and just keep that. I just encourage everyone to keep that going for her, because she's there for everybody. She's always doing everything for everyone and always showing her support. And if we keep that, and it's just this is just a testament of that. You don't have all these people behind you guys for no reason. So we love you, and we look forward to hopefully seeing Trish on the 7th. And even we're gonna have we should have Simply Divine on the show on the 7th as well, and we'll be chopping it up with what we've got next, and maybe we can discuss what men and what women see, or what women like in men, and go in further detail, and have Olu and you guys back on and joining the show as well.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thanks, my darling.
No problem. Thank you so much.
See you again.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ian, for saying it was a great show. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.